The ordinance, again, only impacts unincorporated areas of the county. It takes effect on January 1st. Other Lake County, Illinois towns like Highland Park, Deerfield have already raised the smoking age to 21. Authorities are investigating the deaths of a man and woman in Cicero. Bodies found yesterday in the 5100 block of West 25th Place. The Inspector General for the Chicago Public Schools says a high school inside the Cook County Jail has been faking student data for years. David Stewart explains the consequences that could come to York Alternatives principal.
The CPSIG, Nicholas Schuler, says the York Alternative High School in the county jail was run as a credit mill, giving credit to students who didn't show up for class and carrying students on its records even after they'd been released from jail. In one case, Schuler found a student who'd gotten out of jail and was shot and killed a week later, yet was still being listed as attending class. Schuler blamed Principal Charnette Sims for faking the numbers to boost the school's attendance and graduation ratings within the system. Sims hasn't responded, and CPS officials say they are reviewing Schuler's findings. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
The count is now 23. Suburban Democrat Carol Sente yesterday telling the Daily Herald she will not run for re-election next year. Sente is the 23rd Illinois lawmaker to retire, decide not to run again, or announce plans for a different office. Sente blaming the lack of a role for moderates in Springfield. A white actor and writer is suing Chicago's Second City Theater over allegations of discrimination and retaliation. In a suit filed this week, Scott Moorhead claims he was called racial slurs by black cast members during the Second City production of A Red Line Runs Through It last year. Moorhead says he filed several complaints, but there was no resolution from the theater. He claims he was later suspended from the show without explanation and then replaced by another actor. Chris Bryant belts a 3-run home run, finishing with 4 RBI. Cubs clobber the Mets 8-3. Brandon Moss a grand slam in the first. Royals hang on to beat the White Sox 4-3. The Cleveland Indians have tied the longest winning streak in American League history. Corey Kluber firing a 5-hitter. Tribe shut out the Tigers 2-0. It is 20 wins in a row and counting. The news, a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. 4,000 ASE certified techs at Firestone Complete Auto Care have state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer longer. Take advantage of the bonus Savings Day event. Get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Whatever you drive a Firestone. 5:06, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The biggest conservative event in Chicago is back. It's Freedom Summit 2017, and it's coming to the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 11th, and it's bigger than ever. This year, see best-selling author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza, along with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, Larry Elder, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com. When was the last time you thought about the HVAC system that works 24/7 to keep you comfortable and in business? One of the most important, yet overlooked aspects of life in the 21st century is reliable climate control for both people and product. It's one of the many things we take for granted. We'll be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Then there's a failure or utility bill that's sky high. Avoid unpleasant surprises with your indoor comfort. For repairs and preventative maintenance on your commercial and industrial HVAC systems, call EHMS Mechanical Services. The equipment that maintains the environment you work in and supports the products you make is so important. When it fails, you'll need EHMS Mechanical Services, one of the fastest response commercial HVAC companies in Chicagoland. Help lower the overall cost of your HVAC equipment with comprehensive maintenance programs, energy-reducing retrofits, and rapid response service from EHMS Mechanical Services. Call 847-801-1000 or lovemyhvac.com.
5:08 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. We say good morning to Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Mike. On the Eisenhower Expressway outbound, got some early morning delays from Central Avenue to Ridgeland. There was some overnight road work at Des Plaines Avenue. Crews have just cleared that out of the way, so this is just residual congestion. Now, it's just about a 3 or 4 minute delay from Central to Ridgeland. Inbound, it's fine. No delays to report on the Edens. Kennedy looks good with overnight work gone. Express lanes open inbound. Stevenson, Ryan, okay. Outbound, the Ryan has work again from 87th to the split in the 3 left lanes till 6. A little bit of slow traffic now on inbound I-57. 17 minutes I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford 16. Tollways are good. Northwest Indiana is fine. Traffic is a service of CiCi's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Now you can. Wing-inspired pizzas, honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's Buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Brian May.
A morning shower in places, otherwise clouds giving way to some sun, high 73. Tonight, patch of clouds, low 59. Partly sunny and nice tomorrow, high 79. Friday, sunshine and very warm, high 85. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 61 at O'Hare, 65 along the lakefront, 54 out the door this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's morning, or at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Hillary.
Oh,
Promise you'll never leave us.
what happened? I keep saying that.
What happened?
What happened?
Here's what happened. Your favorite Hillary Clinton excuse for losing the election, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-360-A, turnkey.pro text line. The audacious information warfare waged from the Kremlin. The unprecedented intervention in our election by the director of the FBI. A political press that told voters that my emails were the most important story. Deep currents of anger and resentment flowing through our culture.
You're going too fast. You're going too fast.
I mean, there's so many to get through. The media gave Trump free wall-to-wall coverage. Fox News was turning politics into an evidence-free zone of seething resentments. Maybe it's because I'm a woman and we're not used to a woman running for president. The problem started with the history. It was exceedingly difficult for either party to hold on to the White House for more than 8 years in a row. There was also the Clinton fatigue factor to consider. That's just the 9 that Sarah Westwood of the Washington Examiner got through in the first 2 chapters.
Oh, my gosh.
But, that's the kind of executive you'd like in the White House, somebody that's accountable.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly.
Somebody that takes ownership of her decisions.
I like the woman one. That's my favorite. I mean, because you went through so fast, but that one stuck out to me, Dan.
Well, sure.
And tonight she's going to be on with Anderson Cooper.
Well, she's
making the rounds.
You knew the woman thing would be included. I mean, look, if she had won.
Did you underestimate the way that your familiarity with the American public could negatively impact your campaign?
Well, I thought it was pretty revolutionary that I was the first woman to have a realistic chance of becoming president. So I don't know how any woman who is not familiar to people, since we have so many hurdles to overcome, could have even been in that position that I found myself. So if I'd won, I would have been seen as a genius. My campaign would have been seen as perfect. I understand all of that.
You understand nothing. If you would have won, you would have been seen as defeating a rolling dumpster fire of a campaign, at least at a superficial level, of Donald Trump, somebody who's never been in the political arena. I mean, as a candidate,
no,
he's been an operator in the arena, of course, but not the experience of a former Secretary of State and a former U.S. Senator and a former First Lady and 30 years in the halls of power. You would have seen as, of course you won. That's why the title of your book is, What Happened?
You know what? I love the part where she blamed the media. She kept the media at bay. She treated the media like they were the scum of the earth. And I'll never forget when Cecilia Vega was assigned to cover her. She works for ABC News. The look of disdain on her face of, I'm covering Hillary.
Remember when she turned the gaggle into a rodeo? Yeah.
Yeah, at a parade in Iowa.
She had rope around them.
A rope around her to keep them away from her. Like nobody can touch her.
No, but
it's a public place.
There was like a rope around them, like they were little doggies in a rodeo.
Come on, get up, pick it up, Nancy. Come on.
She was riding
was laughing.
west.
So she did nothing to ingratiate herself to any members of the media
or anybody else.
Right, exactly, because she was the queen.
Yeah.
But people didn't want that kind of queen. We want our queens to look like Princess Diana.
Some queen.
That are more relatable to people.
But you're right.
I think that played a part in it. But when she blamed the media for it, and that they were all over Trump, they were all over Trump in a negative fashion.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So she does spend a lot of time blaming the media. The D.C. press corps, the left D.C. press corps that wouldn't cut her a break. She couldn't get her message out. With 90% of the D.C. press corps that's been voting Democrat since LBJ. Okay. She sat down for this extended interview with Ezra Klein over at Vox.com. And if you think that's not funny enough, the real problem is the right-wing control of the media.
I don't think it used to be quite as hard. I think it could be made harder because of the environment in which we find ourselves right now. But you see, I also think I'm very realistic about the forces that are arrayed against the kind of change I want to see. There's a big move for change coming from the right that I think would be disastrous for our country. They want radical, pull them up by the roots change. They want to have a constitutional convention to rewrite our Constitution to make it friendlier to business, to inject, religious and ideological elements. So talk about radical change. They are pursuing it, they are funding it, and they are electing people who are either true believers or willing vehicles for it. So what do we do on the other side? Because we don't control the media environment the same way the right does. It's harder for our message to get out.
Can't get our message out. The right wing controls the media environment. But she's talking there about working for change within the system as opposed to her allegation, change of, destroying the system and rebuilding it from the ground up, thus her apocryphal tale of conservatives who want a constitutional convention.
Are we doing that?
No, what we want is for politicians to uphold their oath to defend the Constitution.
So we're not ratifying the Constitution?
What do you mean, amending?
Amending, excuse me.
We just want the Constitution abided. That's it. But I'm fine. I'm fine with the constitutional representative republic we have in its current form if you abide the four corners of the Constitution, Mrs. Clinton. But how about that? It's the vast right-wing conspiracy all over again. I mean,
Fantastic.
I know it's look, it's an old go-to.
It's a comfortable spot for her.
It's 1996 all over again. Mike on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Good morning. Dan, I had to warn you first thing in the morning. You're slipping into the left with your arguments.
How's that?
The way you look at things. You mentioned Hillary as a first lady, as a senator, as a secretary of state. She was given all of those things.
She was those things.
Occupancy is not accomplishment.
Did I say that?
No, but you fell into their...
I'm not falling into any trap.
No. When you were saying, oh, look at her. And the reason she lost was not because the media did not get out her accomplishments. It's because the media did get out her accomplishments. We don't need Lady Macbeth. We got rid of her husband. Bad part of American history. We're moving on.
Well,
we're not bringing Ava Braun back either.
Mike, thanks for the call. I would suggest you're falling into the left's arguments because I want Hillary Clinton to stay forever. We're moving on. No.
No, she said she's not going to run again, though, in 2020.
She's going to be around, It's a woman's prerogative to change her mind, Amy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Don't you think she's really going to change her mind?
I hope so. She's going to say,
they have nobody on the bench, besides Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
But we don't know if he'll be around in 2020.
The great thing is she's a divisive figure within Democrat circles. These publicity tours for her effort to stay relevant and try and...
she's trying to make money.
Well, she's trying to make money, but more than that, she's trying to refashion her legacy because she was disgraced. So she's getting... What else does she have to do? Spend quality time with Bill? She's going to try and refurbish her reputation. That's what this is about, ultimately. The money is secondary with all the money they've made. It's secondary. I mean, I know they're interested in money, don't get me wrong. But, no, I want her to stay around forever. And the thing that's interesting about Hillary, too, and you see this, you saw this throughout the campaign, and you still see this in this interview because actually she's sort of incapable of change. The irony of the time she spends talking about it. What happened to her, in part, the Democrats moved so far left so fast she couldn't keep up.
Oh, yeah.
That's thus Bernie Sanders' serious challenge in the primary.
She blames him, too.
No, of course.
No, she did. He ruined her in the primaries.
Nobody is spared blame.
Yes.
There's only one person who isn't to blame for the 2016 loss.
Chelsea.
Right. Frank in St. Charles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. If I was Hillary's therapist, I would just keep telling her, look, more people voted for you than voted for Trump. Take that and just be happy that more people voted for you, but the system kind of screwed you.
No, well, that's the system didn't screw her. The system worked as it's supposed to. That's just how it is, Frank. The Electoral College is not a 2016 invention. Welcome to.
If we didn't have that, we'd have California, New York, and Chicago deciding who'd be the president.
Well, and right. So wait, who wants to refashion the Constitution again? Was it the left that was talking about dumping the Electoral College for this very reason? Yeah, you got more votes. Yeah, no. And by the way, Frank, don't worry.
Tell President Trump that.
No. Don't worry. She made mention of the fact in interviews and in the book that she got more votes. No, because that is the way that she, stays loosely tended to this mortal coil.
And just so you know, President Trump is not going to be reading the book. Sarah Sanders Huckabee said so yesterday. Because she said he'd be dangerous to the world. And another chapter.
What?
Hillary Clinton in her book said President Trump would be, dangerous to America and to the world.
Yeah, she said that, routinely on the trail. Mm-hmm. Greg in Schaumburg.
Hey, Amy and Dan. If she is planning on staying around, I would suggest that it's not a good idea to have her continue to wear these tents and then walk toward the camera. Did you see that picture? She looks like she just can't walk.
Oh, yeah. When she was with Jane Pauley on CBS Sunday Morning. Yeah, she was having some trouble. Maybe arthritic. I don't know. Or maybe girlfriend needs to do some more down dogs.
Thanks for the call, Greg. And I'm sorry for that unfortunate comment from Amy.
Because she showed Jane Pauley the house that she bought because she thought she was going to win. So she bought a $1.3 million mansion next to her home in Chappaquiddick for staff.
Oh, yeah.
And for Secret Service and for everybody. And it didn't work out that way. So they walked through the courtyard and they walked through the dining room. And Jane Pauley's like, how do you feel? But when she was walking, she looked a little
Do you think
wobbly.
that she's going to have her head cryogenically frozen? when she passes.
Oh, like Ted Williams.
And Walt Disney.
Yeah.
So she can come back on a more useful body and run for president again in like 2072. Sean Spicer responded to her, I would have been a genius if I had won. I would have been seen as a genius if I won. Sean Spicer. And if I won the lottery, I'd be rich.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan coming up later this morning. He's back. Part 2 of the Rod Blagojevich jailhouse interview. And this time he says
You'll have to tune in to Eric and Kathy to get that.
Stop it. He says, no, this is political, and he's angry. He says he is the victim of a political hijacking. But first, here's your forecast. A morning shower in spots, otherwise clouds, giving way to some sun, a high of 73 degrees. Patchy clouds tonight, low of 58. And for Thursday, partly sunny skies, nice, getting warmer here, a high of 78. And on Friday, we're going to hit a high of 85 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. The Eisenhower Expressway is looking good now. Overnight road work has cleared at Des Plaines Avenue on the outbound side. The delays are gone. It's 29 minutes either way between Thorndale and the post office downtown. The Edens and the Kennedy still look good. Inbound Stevenson, heavy Harlem to Central and Pulaski to Kedzie. Just 2 minutes worth of delays. Inbound Ryan, got a 2-minute delay from 18th to downtown. I-57, 21 minutes from I-80 to the Rhine. Bishop Ford at 19. Tollways are fine. No delays to report in northwest Indiana. You'll have some large vehicles in Joliet around Chicagoland Speedway. It's a noon check-in today at the campground for this weekend's NASCAR events at the Speedway. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Oh, got a great night's sleep, all thanks to MyPillow. Why? Well, it conforms to your neck and back to give you support where you need it, regardless if you sleep on your side or your back or your stomach. It's made here in America. And the founder, Mike Lindell, just donated 60,000 pillows to Texas flood victims. He's a great patriot. And right now, you can get 50% off the 4-pack still in September. That's 2 premium MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, 50% off. Here's what you do. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in the promo code to get this best deal ever. Or you can call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201 and start sleeping better.
Americans have the right and advantage of being armed, unlike the citizens of other countries whose governments are afraid to trust the people with arms. James Madison, Federalist Papers. Our founders recognized that the common individual needs to be trusted, but with trust, there must be common sense and personal responsibility. This is especially true of handguns. If you've been thinking of making a purchase, visit the Range at 355. The Range at 355 is so much more than a state-of-the-art shooting range. It is a fully stocked showroom carrying a variety of firearms with brands like Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, HKs, and Glock. The Range at 355 offers Illinois concealed carry license training and a full curriculum of classes designed to teach you what you need to know to be a responsible gun owner and concealed carrier. Their professional team will train you like a pro. Founded by patriots like you, providing professional guidance and courteous instruction. Trust your skills to the pros at the Range at 355. For range hours and class info, visit range355.com. Range355.com.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. It's our digital platform with long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. Podcast of Illinois Rising, our Sunday 3 p.m. show that covers state politics and policy. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, Pat Hughes' 2-minute warnings from the Illinois Opportunity Project, as well as our new series, Heart of the Matter, which is professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the important issues of the day and their impacts on households' budgets, and Follow the Logic, Man on the Street segments, this week featuring Illinois residents trying to follow Governor Rauner's logic in signing sanctuary state legislation. You can find it all by visiting and signing up at upstream-ideas.com.
Got your head in the IT cloud? How are things in there? Confusing? When your business is considering the location for your precious data, or if you're already using the cloud and can't seem to navigate through, Turnkey IT is ready to clear things up. You need to be ready. It's estimated that by 2020, over 78% of all small businesses will be partially or totally using the cloud. The truth is, it's great for everyone in some way, but in what way for you? Turnkey IT can help your business understand the cloud and help you utilize it safely and securely. And sure, you may already be using Office 365, but there's so much more that the cloud can do. Turnkey IT is eager to educate you on what's best for your business. And don't forget, if you're frustrated by the lack of responsiveness or the high cost of your current IT company, Turnkey can help with that too. Clear up the cloudiness when it comes to the latest technology. Be sure your business is current. Visit turnkey.pro to make contact today. Turnkey.pro.
AM 560, The Answer.
Is he auto-tuned? What is that?
Oh, delete it.
Delete it.
Delete it.
Oh.
If you want to know where those 33,000 emails are, read the book. That's what she said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's her big tease?
Yeah,
Because
well,
she's giving
one of
away everything, so why would I read what happened? And what did you think?
That's Al Yankovic quality, by the way.
What did you think the title of her book should have been called? Remember? You had a good one.
Oh.
Dig deep into that noggin of yours, Dan.
Well,
I'm trying to remember, too, what it was.
I guess we can revisit that. Hillary Clinton's book, what it should have been called instead of what happened. Yes, and let's keep it clean out there, starting with you. We'll take your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro line, and your texts all morning on that topic, 64636DA. It's Throwback Wednesday here. We got Hillary Clinton, we got Blagojevich, we got Ted Kennedy. So, let's take a walk through history together this morning. But coming up at 5:38, Amy, we have to stay in the present for just a moment or two because I want to warn Robert Lee about Jameel Hill at ESPN, just in case he runs into her at the water cooler. ESPN cannot shed viewers fast enough at 5:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Good morning, everyone. 64 and fog this morning. French President Emmanuel Macron visiting hurricane-hammered St. Bart's after reportedly staying overnight on the nearby island of St. Martin on a cot. Macron is on a visit aimed at offering support and solidarity with struggling islanders after his government has been harshly criticized for not doing enough to prepare and help France's Caribbean territories destroyed by Hurricane Irma. Meantime, the governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands says it will be the state of New York providing security assistance. The governor there says New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is sending 100 state troopers and members of the New York National Guard. Hurricane Irma's floodwaters are covering many parts of Florida that rarely see flooding. Governor Rick Scott yesterday saying people in Jacksonville have been shocked by the extent of the flooding and storm surge there. Progressive Senator Bernie Sanders ready to unveil his bill for starkly reshaping the country's current hodgepodge health insurance system into one where the government provides medical insurance for everyone, better known as single payer. Republican senators are preparing to roll out details of their renewed effort to repeal and replace President Barack Obama's attempts at health insurance reform that were not market-based. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott will talk with the president today about race and recent violence at a white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Scott is the only black Republican in the Senate. Hundreds of union nurses at Chicago's University of Illinois Hospital, will not be hitting picket lines. The Nurses Association says they have reached a tentative contract with the hospital. One Cook County commissioner says the county could get by without the money from the controversial penny-an-ounce sweetened drink tax. Commissioner Richard Boykin and other opponents of that tax took to a rally yesterday outside the Thompson Center.
This has never been about health care. This has always been about money and revenue. This is a money grab. What we got to do, we got to can the tax.
Boykin laid out a plan to eliminate the penny-an-ounce fee through spending cuts. A CPS inspector claims a high school inside Cook County Jail has committed academic fraud for years. A report released by Nicholas Schuler accuses York Alternative High School of granting attendance and course credit to students who did not attend class. Chris Bryant belts a 3-run home run, finishing with 4 RBI. Cubs clobber the Mets 8-3. Jose Quintana struck out 7 over 7 innings to improve to 6-3 on the year. Royals beat the White Sox 4-3. The Indians have tied the longest winning streak in American League history, 20 in a row. Corey Kluber fired a 5-hitter as the Tribe shut out my Tigers 2-0. By the way, the longest streak in Major League Baseball is held by the Chicago Cubs back in the 1930s, 21 in a row. The news, a service of CiCi's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. The new wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken, now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 5:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher gets a bad feeling about the North Korea situation.
My instincts generally serve me pretty well. I'm going to just tell you flat out, I have a very bad feeling about what Kim Jong-un is up to. And it's on him. But I have a bad feeling about this little chubby, weird dictator of North Korea.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Home isn't just a place, it's the feeling of knowing you're safe. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Learn more at ADT.com.
Roof is needy?
Call Crumweedy.
Roof is leaky?
Call Crumweedy.
Shingles are curly?
Call Crumweedy.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy?
Call Crumweedy.
Here comes winter. Well, soon. This is Mark Olson
and Greg Olson of Crumweedy,
a third-generation family business.
We're conservative just like you.
We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
Really good roofs.
The difference is installation.
Hey, we know that. That's why we follow the manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is totally intact.
A lot of companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty.
Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
We say call. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
MyRoofIsNeedy.com. Hey, do it now. Get it done before the winter comes.
Crumweedy. We fix roof problems.
5:35 and a check of your roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eisenhower Expressway traffic is slow from Manheim to 25th. It's 31 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound to Pond at 29. The overnight work near Des Plaines Avenue is gone. The Edens is clear, so is the Kennedy for now. On Stevenson, delays start at Harlem. It is 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 34. Ryan, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 15, though there is road work at 87th in the 3 left lanes. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 26 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Lakeshore Drive is fine. No tollway delays to report. Northwest Indiana looks clear. Traffic, service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. The 4,000 ASE certified technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care have the state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer, longer. Take advantage of the bonus savings day event and get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Morning shower in spots and some heavy fog in the area. Otherwise, clouds will give way to some afternoon sun. High 73. Patchy clouds and 58 overnight. Currently, we have 61 at O'Hare, 64 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit BeingSeen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. BeingSeen360.com.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, ESPN in the news again.
No, they just can't help themselves. I mean, really.
Robert Lee on notice, steer clear of Jameel Hill. She is on this ghastly show during the day, you know, when they're trying to fill time.
In between games, yeah. I've watched the show, actually. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. She unleashed a bit of a Twitter storm, including this. Donald Trump is a white supremacist who has largely surrounded himself with other white supremacists. That was her commemorative tweet for 9/11.
Yeah, at 6:54 p.m.
And then she continued, the height of white privilege is being able to ignore his white supremacy, being Donald Trump's, because it's no threat to you. Well, it's a threat to me. She didn't elaborate on exactly how it's a threat. By the way, she got a girl from Colin Kaepernick. So she's got Cap in her corner.
Yeah.
We are with you, Jameel Hill, tweeted the Castro lover.
She also said Donald Trump is a bigot and glad you could live with voting for him. I couldn't because I cared more than just myself.
Well, it's inspired stuff. Here's the thing about Jameel Hill. Well, the ESPN president responded. The comments on Twitter of Jameel Hill regarding the president do not represent the position of ESPN. We've addressed this with Jameel, and she recognizes her actions were inappropriate. Now, all of a sudden, she can't speak for herself. Isn't that interesting?
Have they taken her Twitter down, I wonder?
It's just like Robert Lee when he was reassigned from that UVA game because he bears the name of a Confederate general. The ESPN front office responded for Robert Lee, the sportscaster who could no longer speak for himself.
No, right. Well, that's what they do. I mean, I've been in situations like this where they come in and say, absolutely, you're not going to speak to the media. You're not going to put anything on Facebook.
Right.
This is an internal issue. And if you do respond, then you could lose your job. But the question is here, why isn't she already fired? If a white reporter made a comment similar to this about President Barack Obama, there would be no tweets. There would be no, the comment from ESPN with, we have cut ties with said reporter because her actions do not represent the position of ESPN. But it's a double standard.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
It makes me sick.
So there's actually a precedent at ESPN, which is why this is an interesting case, because you have Britt McHenry, former ESPN reporter, who excoriated the clerk at a towing operator when she got her car towed and embarrassed herself and was, viciously mean to the woman about her looks and her weight and this and that.
That's awful.
And so anyway, so she gets suspended. So it's not clear what, if anything, is going to happen to Jameel Hill. The question then becomes, well, Britt McHenry, a little blonde white girl, her privilege didn't turn out to protect her either in that incident from being suspended and ultimately from being on the short list for termination when they pared back their staff, which is what happened to her. She's no longer at ESPN.
Yeah.
So no announcement about Jameel Hill's status in terms of any disciplinary action other than, Jameel recognizes what she said was inappropriate. So the question is, the question beyond what happens to her is, where does the privilege actually exist these days? Is it with the Britt McHenrys and the Mark Giangrecos? Oh, by the way, there's another case study at the local level. Mark Giangreco tweeted insulting things about Trump voters, like Jameel Hill did.
Yeah.
ABC 7 here locally suspended him after I reported on it. So there's another standard. Mark Giangreco's white privilege didn't protect him. I mean, he kept his job, but he got suspended. I'm not calling for Jameel Hill to be suspended. I'm just, again, always, as I always am, trying to identify what the standard is, and particularly with a employer that has meted out disciplinary action in this space before, does the standard change depending on who the offending party is? Where does the privilege actually exist these days, do you think? 312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line, 646-36DA, Turnkey.pro text line.
She also tweeted, Trump is the most ignorant, offensive president of my lifetime. His rise is a direct result of white supremacy, period.
Yeah, I know. She likes to say white supremacy.
Yeah, she said it in pretty much every tweet. I just as a former reporter, I cannot believe that she's not suspended. I cannot believe that she has not been fired. I mean, it's almost unreal that she hasn't been kicked out the door. Security didn't come right away and have her gather your things and go out the door. But it's different rules for different people. And that's the bottom line.
She also went after Kid Rock. Okay, now that's a bridge too far.
Well, that's how the whole thing started.
It's one thing to call Trump a white supremacist and all the people around him white supremacists. That's fine. But you go after Kid Rock, now it's on. She tweeted that they're trying to. He wrote on Facebook. They're trying to use the old Confederate flag BS to stir the pot when we all know none of this would be going on if I were not thinking of running for office. He told his fans, did Kid Rock, to ignore the quote-unquote extreme left. And so she went after him for his comments on that topic and then used that as the bridge to go after Trump. By the way, another example at ESPN of regulating content and meting out disciplinary action based on a person's political views, Curt Schilling.
Oh, that's right.
Curt Schilling got ash-canned for, really, in part, for his conservative views. I mean, he first got disciplined. There was disciplinary action. He wrote something about Muslims. I can't remember exactly what it was. But then ultimately was terminated. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's this? So that's why... Who actually has the privilege? Is it the people that are claiming, that are decrying white privilege? Or is it those that use that propaganda to insulate themselves from accountability? Now, again, I mean, you're talking about the executives of ESPN, largely all white guys. But as is the case at most big companies, they're also likely cowards, most, if not all of them. Yeah.
And why are they afraid of Jemele Hill?
They'll get pushed around.
She's not an A-lister.
They're afraid of her because, one, if someone calls these individuals a racist, they just descend into a puddle of tears. And number two, I mean, then what am I going to say at the next cocktail party? Jemele Hill called me a racist? Oh, jeez. And then two, litigation.
But again, I point out, if Jemele Hill was white and made disparaging remarks about President Obama, she would already be gone. They wouldn't think twice.
At least suspended.
No, I think she'd be fired. They'd never let her back on.
Yeah. What if Jemele Hill, or what if forget Jemele Hill? What if another employee of ESPN had said President Obama is part of a black nationalist movement trying to overthrow the government? Or something like
that. Or he's a former Black Panther, or whatever, something.
Or something
insightful. I don't know. I was trying to think of something that a white reporter could have said about President Trump, and you did it for me. You're right.
About President Obama.
Yeah, President Obama.
Yeah. I mean,
they would have been kicked out of the door in a hot second.
So Curt Schilling. So we know ESPN is not unwilling to discipline employees. Curt Schilling, Britt McHenry, for personal views and personal conduct outside of the boundaries of their professional responsibilities. And that's an employer's right per the terms of their employment agreements with these individuals. So why the little kind of slow on the uptake with Jemele Hill?
What about you mentioned Britt. I just have to play a moment from Britt.
I'm in the news, sweetheart. I will sue this place. Okay, that's fine, and I'll play your video, so careful. I'll play the video. That's why I have a degree in
Ooh.
Yeah. It didn't work
She's
out well.
Sassing that lady, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Britt McHenry deserved she acted horribly, and she deserved to.
And she apologized.
Be disciplined for it, and she was. Jay in Lowell, Indiana, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi guys. Didn't ESPN just fire a white commentator who does tennis because he used the term gorilla with Venus Williams? I mean, they one day later gone.
Oh, that's
They're not
right.
firing this woman?
That's right, and it was Gorilla Guerrilla, right? It was like she's like a guerrilla warfare. Yes, right, exactly. Yeah, so it was his use of a legitimate term to describe her game, and it was complimentary. But because it could have been misunderstood, like Robert Lee's name, you could confuse an Asian football announcer for a dead Confederate general. That's an easy mistake to make. And so thus they had to protect Robert Lee from himself. Yes, very good,
It happened
Jay.
during
Thanks
the
for
Australian
that.
Open.
Thanks for that reminder. That's another good one.
And he was describing Venus Williams, and so they fired him over alleged ethnic slur.
Right. It was
Doug
not.
Adler.
It was not.
No, it was not.
It was not a racial epithet. It was a compliment, and it wasn't G-O, it was G-U-E-R.
Right, but the comment went viral because it was pushed along by the New York Times on Twitter, labeling it as appalling term gorilla, which ignited the flames of anger and hatred, blah, blah.
It's bizarre.
I know, it's so weird. So Adler's actually suing ESPN for wrongful termination.
So this is interesting, right? So they weren't afraid
They fired him right away.
Weren't afraid of litigation from Adler.
Right.
But they'll hide behind advice of counsel. We're not going to move. We're a little afraid. We want to insulate from litigation, so we don't want to do it. Not with Adler. But it apparently, we'll see. They've had 48 hours with Jameel Hill.
Oh, and back to Adler real quick. He said, by the way, ESPN chose to handle this non-issue. They effectively branded me, my character, and my reputation for the rest of my life.
Right.
That's why he's filing a lawsuit.
And
he can't get work anywhere.
And so people are afraid of getting the Doug Adler treatment, and so they give in to monsters.
Mm-hmm.
They give in to thugs, and that's what those claiming victim status really are. I mean, that's why the term "cry bullies" was invented, because it's descriptive.
And the word gorilla has been used for decades in the tennis world.
It's been used for decades in the English language. That's the important point. I mean, it's absurd, of course, but ESPN is the home of
babies.
Total absurdity, and it's just one thing: fantasy football draft, slave auction. We apologize. Okay. Kevin in Michigan City, Indiana.
Hello.
Hey, Kevin.
I just wanted to remind you guys that the Monday Night Football, Are You Ready for Some Football guy got let go because he compared or said Obama was acting like Hitler.
Oh,
and they got rid of him.
Hank
and
Williams.
That was
Hank Williams.
Hank Williams, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, good one, Kevin. Thanks for the
That's
call.
on-
Appreciate
yeah.
it. So we're still struggling to find a standard that's applied across the spectrum, aren't we? Well, isn't that interesting?
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
With Continental Audi of Naperville, you get a different kind of buying experience. Straight talk and no hassle. Plus, Continental Audi has a huge selection of Audis to choose from. And for a limited time, lease a 2017 Audi A4 Premium for $399 a month. The Audi A4 is one of the best in its class. Or lease a 2018 Audi A6 for $579 a month. Plus, Continental has a test track to get in and really drive. Drive an Audi and feel the difference. Drive an Audi from Continental and experience the difference in an exceptional dealer. ContinentalAudi.com or Continental Audi in Naperville on Aurora Avenue at Ogden Avenue. Going beyond the sale. Experience the Continental Audi difference, where smiles are standard equipment. ContinentalAudi.com. 36-month lease, A4 4114 due, A6 4694 due. Outstanding post-tax title license and acquisition fee extra must qualify through Audi Financial Services. See dealer for details.
After your choice of spouse, where you send your kids to school, is the most important decision you make. So I'm excited to tell you about Northridge Preparatory School, an independent Catholic school for boys grades 6 through 12. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. Northridge Prep instills the traditional values you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm. It's a good place to be a boy. I'm impressed by the men who teach there. They're great role models who get to the hearts of their students. I was actually there yesterday. And these are, intellectual assassins that are the teachers there. Will Ray, I didn't realize this. Will Ray, who coached Loyola basketball after Gene Sullivan. He's the athletic director at Northridge Prep. Yeah, he's a great guy. I had a great conversation with him. I mean, super sharp faculty. I talked to a little kid who was not feeling well. The headmaster introduced me to him, and he's sitting there, and he tells, "Well, tell Dan your story about how you came to Northridge Prep." He was more articulate than 99% of members of Congress, and I think he's in 7th grade.
Wasn't feeling well.
Yeah,
it's still articulated.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool place. It really is. So as you heard, I'm quite impressed with the men who teach there. They're role models. They get to the hearts of their students. The demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Echo, echo, echo. Northridge Prep grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have top athletics and arts programs. I got a great gym, too, and I saw that. Ranked number 1 best all-boys school in Illinois and a top 100 high school in America from U.S. News. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house October 22nd, particularly with the advent of tax credit scholarships in Illinois. To learn more, visit northridgeprep.org. Again, the website, NorthridgePrep.org.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance. But they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer.
5:56. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens Expressway is clear right now in both directions, but the inbound Kennedy has delays from the River Road toll to Canfield and from Foster to Lawrence. 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound still fine at 20. On Eisenhower, slow Wolf to Harlem, 41 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 32. Inbound Stevenson, delays start at First Avenue, 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35, there's a crash at Lamont Road on the right shoulder. Inbound Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Outbound 15, I-57, 36 minutes, I-80 to the Merge. Mission 427, Lakeshore Drive is fine. Northbound Tri-State, heavy approaching the Eisenhower. The other tollways are good. Traffic, it's a service of Staples. Staples helps your business create color presentations for less. Now get 20% back in Staples rewards color copies, manuals, and presentations that are designed to impress. Staples Proton. Offer ends 11/4/17. Exclusions apply. Go to staples.com/20color for more. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Brian May.
A morning shower, then a mix of clouds and sunshine today, high 73. A few clouds tonight, low 59. Nice tomorrow with some sun, high 79. Friday, sunshine and very warm, high Friday, 85. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 62 at O'Hare, 64 along the lakefront. The news, a service of Indeed.com. Are you hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. Post a job in minutes. Manage your candidates from an easy-to-use dashboard. Post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. 5:59, here are the stories we are following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. Hundreds of union nurses at Chicago's University of Illinois Hospital will not hit picket lines. They've reached a tentative contract deal with the hospital and university. Cook County Commissioners expected to introduce a motion today to repeal the controversial sweetened beverage tax. The age to buy cigarettes going up in parts of unincorporated Lake County, Illinois, to 21. Suburban Chicago authorities say it could be months before they officially identify a man found in the rubble of a fiery house explosion last week in Gurnee. Chris Bryant belts a 3-run home run, finishing with 4 RBIs. The Cubs beat the Mets 8-3. Royals hung on to beat the White Sox 4-3 at Kauffman Stadium, and the Bears will be without linebacker Jarrell Freeman for quite a while. Outside, we have 62 degrees, and WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
It's going to take a long time to recover from Irma in the Caribbean. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The most terrifying storm I've ever been through.
He's in St. Martin, where more than 200 remain missing, though communication is still difficult. The hurricane destroyed much of the island. France's president was there yesterday, bringing much-needed supplies, promising to rebuild it stronger. Irma's blamed for at least 37 deaths across areas of the Caribbean that had destruction. 18 died in the southeast U.S., 3 of them yesterday in Orlando, where Fox's Evan Brown is live.
Yeah, Dave, law enforcement rushed to a home after a child called 911 and found that a family of 7 left a generator running indoors. 3 of the 7 people inside were dead.
It was running, and it was running inside the house at some point, either during the night or during the day.
Orange County Sheriff spokesman Jeff Williams. The other 4 people are in the hospital. A deputy was also overcome by fumes. Power outages are widespread still throughout the state. Police are warning people not to use generators inside, Dave.
Yeah, but there was a telethon last night for hurricane victims.
Let's join hands and lift the victims out of the darkness.
Leonardo DiCaprio. The hand-to-hand benefit was initially for Harvey, but expanded to include Irma, raising $44 million. Some watching, though, were turned off when some celebrities got political.
Who believes that there is no such thing as global warming must be blind or unintelligent.
Stevie Wonder, Beyonce, and others seem to take shots at President Trump. The president last night had dinner with 6 senators pushing for tax reform, 3 of them Democrats who were up for re-election in states the president won. A Rhode Island man will be arraigned on a murder charge today, accused of going into a New Hampshire hospital yesterday and shooting and killing his mother, a 70-year-old woman in intensive care. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
For 22 years, he served his country in the United States Marine Corps, including a tour of duty in Vietnam. He earned 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star, and a Silver Star. And this year, on Veterans Day, retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is coming to Chicago for Freedom Summit 2017, November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest. See Oliver North, Dinesh D'Souza, Larry Elder, and many more. Get your tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford.
As the head of procurement for my company, I was sweating a big deadline and got tired of calling my printer for updates, only to hear excuses. So I heard about McGrath Printing Custom Apparel and gave them a call. I got A+ service and they beat the deadline. McGrath Printing really saved my
I'm a supply chain manager for a Fortune 500 company, and we had $50,000 of product waiting for instruction manuals because our printer couldn't deliver on time. One call to McGrath Printing Custom Apparel, and they saved my
At McGrath Printing Custom Apparel, they've been saving companies for over 35 years. Give them a call at 815-356-5246. That's 815-356-5246. And mention code AM560 and get 20% off your first order. So remember,
Go to where the pros go. McGrathPrint.com. McGrathPrint.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldstone Financial, helping you become financially independent at goldstonefinancialgroup.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. It is Throwback Wednesday. We got Hillary, we got Blago, we got Teddy Kennedy. So why not throw in Kanye West? Remember Kanye West, Chicago's very own?
Yeah, he used to sit in front of the United Center and sing and bang on a bucket and get tips, and then he went to Hollywood.
Love the pickle bucket guys. Love the pickle bucket guys.
I never knew it was a pickle bucket.
Yeah. Well,
really?
That is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
And Kanye West made a bit of a mark in the telethon world back in 2005 for the Katrina telethon. You remember what Kanye West had to say? It's relevant to a certain telethon. You just heard reported on news at the top of the hour that happened yesterday with noted climatologist Stevie Wonder and Beyonce. Kanye West, remember Kanye?
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Yeah, so Kanye West, by the way, the person I felt the most sorry for, Mike Myers, who was doing the stand-up with him during that telethon.
Oh, that.
And Mike Myers just like, I mean, he was just, he's on script, and Kanye is, you heard his unintelligible blather and race baiting.
That.
Yeah, so that was Kanye West just 12 years ago. Instant classic. George Bush doesn't care about black people and all the other pablum that he was spewing.
He wasn't there last night, by the way.
No, not
in the hand-in-hand telethon.
Yeah, it was
which raised about $44 million.
It's great.
Do you want to know the starting lineup? You had Oprah Winfrey, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Justin Timberlake, Dennis Quaid, Adam Sandler, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jamie Foxx, Gwen Stefani,
Hello,
Beyonce.
Leo.
Hello.
That was Al Gore saying hello to Leo DiCaprio.
Bryan Cranston and many others.
Yeah. Also, as I said, noted climatologists Stevie Wonder and Beyonce. I didn't know Stevie Wonder could sing. I thought his expertise was in climatology.
Well, it was meteorologist Stevie Wonder.
Well, you can understand my confusion.
We've come together today to love on the people that have been devastated by the hurricanes. When love goes into action, it preferences no color of skin, no ethnicity, no religious beliefs, no sexual preferences, and no political persuasions. It just loves. As we should begin to love and value our planet, and anyone who believes that there is no such thing as global warming must be blind or unintelligent. Lord, please save us all.
Oh, you're going to insult my intelligence.
Say that in that breathless way. It's not about believing in that the climate changes. Of course the climate changes. Well, we just go to the data. About 1 degree Fahrenheit over the last 100 years. And
1 degree Fahrenheit over the last 100 years.
And by the way, Stevie,
What?
I know you're a climatologist, but it's climate change. It's not global warming now because global warming doesn't explain the hockey stick. I know you're up on this. I know you're up on this. I know you're you've weighed in and assessed the debate running between Michael Mann and Mark Stein. I know you're on top of it. I know you've had deep conversations with former Greenpeace co-founder, Patrick Moore. I know you've read the work of Bjorn Lomborg at the Copenhagen Consensus Center. I know you know all this, Stevie.
Does? Yeah, please.
I'm not going to repeat it for Stevie's benefit because he knows it. But I just wanted to make sure he's precise with the language because I hate to have his reputation in the science community.
Well, does he know that September is normally hurricane season? Does he know that this happens? I mean, not to this magnitude, but every year there are hurricanes during hurricane season.
Well, Roger Pelkey noted that the link between global warming and recent hurricanes, extreme weather events is, quote, unsupportable based on research and evidence, unquote. Look, I know research and evidence is not Stevie Wonder's bag, but he's not a climate change denier, by the way, Pelkey. He's a scientist. Shown with data, hurricanes hitting the U.S. have not increased in frequency or in intensity since 1900. There's no notable trend up or down in global tropical cyclone landfall since 1970, and floods have not increased in frequency or intensity in the U.S. since 1950. In addition, just talking about the anyones who don't know anything like Stevie Wonder knows, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, this is a big government agency, they should like this, said that it's, quote, premature to conclude that human activities, and particularly greenhouse gas emissions and that cause global warming, have already had a detectable impact on Atlantic hurricane or global tropical cyclone activity. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says it lacks evidence to show that global warming is making storms and floodings worse. Bjorn Lomborg, who I mentioned, a scientist, also believes in climate change and not a climate change denier. I mean, of course, those who talk about how their adherence to science the most, particularly on the left, are, of course, telling you what they are not. Bjorn Lomborg, writing in the Wall Street Journal about the arguments that have been advanced with climate change as the catch-all explanation. Climate change has been blamed for a dizzying array of absurd woes, from the dwindling number of customers at Bulgarian brothels to the death of the Loch Ness Monster. He's not kidding. Most of us can see through these silly headlines, but it's far harder to parse the more serious claims when they're repeated in good faith by well-meaning campaigners. Isn't that what we have on display at that telethon? Both with Stevie and with Beyonce. Beyonce weighed in, too.
Did she sing it like Stevie Wonder with the music behind her?
She said the effects of climate change are playing out around the world every day. Just this past week, you've seen devastation from the monsoon in India, an 8.1 earthquake in Mexico, and 2 catastrophic hurricanes. We have to be prepared for what comes next. Boy, I thought she read the statement that Al Gore prepared for her very nicely. Pope Francis, those who deny this, meaning climate change, must go to the scientists and ask them. They speak very clearly. These aren't opinions pulled out of thin air. They're very clear. The leaders, then the leaders decide, and history will judge those decisions. That is correct, and so we're going to the scientists, Pope Francis, Stevie, Beyonce. And when was the last time you heard Pope Francis, Stevie, and Beyonce's names in the same sentence?
Never.
This is what brings people together. So great that the telethon raised a bunch of cash. And,
millions of dollars. And we have to think about the victims. I mean, 70 people died in Hurricane Harvey. 70.
Quarter of the homes in Key West destroyed.
90%.
Reportedly.
Yep.
And half of Florida without power. I mean, so these are real.
And 12
real
people are
things.
dead in the U.S. from Hurricane Irma. 37 in the Caribbean, but there's still, thousands of people missing on St. Thomas, on St. Martin. And these people do need our help. But blaming, climate change, which in essence is blaming President Trump for the hurricanes, just doesn't sit well.
I don't know how blaming
with us.
I don't know how blaming climate change is blaming President Trump. I thought climate change has been a existential threat to the globe before President Trump's election.
No, President Trump's to blame because he pulled out of the Paris Accord.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. No, I forgot the answer of Miss North Dakota from.
And did anybody mention last night about President Trump's gracious donation of $1 million? No.
You know what?
It's just a little blurb on CNN.
It just struck me. You know why Hillary Clinton lost the 2016 election?
Say it.
Climate change. Dave and Racine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Just curious, what was the carbon footprint of all the celebrities that were at this basically anti-Trump rally masquerading as a fundraiser?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well,
Thanks
they
for the call,
broadcast
Dave.
live from L.A., so they didn't have to travel far. New York and Nashville.
Yeah, but they've done
and then
these.
to Texas for George Strait at the end.
They've done these like Earth Day concerts
Yeah.
or whatever the heck, and they all come in their G5s, and I mean, of course they're hypocrites. I mean, Dave's point is they're hypocrites. Of course they're hypocrites. They don't care about outcomes.
Look at
They
Al
care about their
Gore's-
feelings. You understand? This is feeling and ideology, and some are just empty-headed celebrities, and others are power-hungry politicians who are facilitated by empty-headed celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Al Gore's carbon footprints, his house in Nashville. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not to
Hello?
mention his waistline that travels with him.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, he's sassy, he's feisty. Day 2 of the Rod Blagojevich interview from prison. But first, here is your forecast. A morning shower in places, otherwise clouds giving way to some sun, a high of 73 degrees. Tonight, patchy clouds, a low of 58. And for Thursday, partly sunny, nice, a high of 78. But look out, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's going to feel like summer around here because it is still summer. We're going to have highs in the mid to upper 80s. Now let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Anything hot on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
It's heating up, Amy, on the inbound side of I-57. It's really heavy this morning. The delays start around 115th Street. It's 37 minutes already from I-80 to the Ryan. Bishop Ford at 27. And the Ryan is 24 minutes from 95th to downtown, a little quicker in the express lanes. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 20 to Kennedy. 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 25. On Eisenhower, it's stop and go Wolf to Austin, 50 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 32. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Northbound Tri-State slow from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Eastbound Adams Tollway heavy from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. The other tollways look fine. 8094 westbound, it's heavy from Grant to before Klein Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Robert in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer with the book title.
It should have been, I could not connect with the males of the United States.
All right.
Because I used to be one.
Okay, thanks for the call, Robert. That's a long book title. But that's a nice transition. Perfect. Speaking of transitioning, Robert, maybe this is the reason Hillary Clinton lost. Gentlemen, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know my numbers. Low T Center made it easy. You walk in, you take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, I was able to get my results in minutes. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. Did you hear that, Hillary? So, gentlemen, if you don't know your numbers, haven't met your deductible, or don't have insurance, you should take advantage of this limited time offer. I know at Low T Center, they will take great care of you. Plus, it's quick, easy, and you'll get your results in about 20 minutes. So do yourself a favor and call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That number again, 312-239-3427. Call now or visit lowtcenter.com. Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call. A borrower called me after contacting the lender who boasts about having the lowest rates and closing costs because he thought my competitors' closing costs were excessively high. I compared loan estimates and the interest rates were identical, but our definitions of low closing costs were a lot different. Fact is, my closing costs were over $1,000 less than the lender claiming to have the lowest closing costs. When purchasing a home, you can either work with the lender who talks and talks and talks and talks about low closing costs, or you can work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think of all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when we originate your loan, like pay for the movers, buy a new computer, new TV, maybe new carpet for your new house. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License 4358, and MLS 19186.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. There are reports that Trump's not going to trade the wall for DACA. You may not understand that, but I'll explain it when Freedom returns at 5.
Did you watch it? Part 2 of the Rod Blagojevich interview with Phil Rogers.
I read the Chicago Magazine interview, and his snippets from his interview with Phil Rogers are just rehashes of what's in print in Chicago Magazine.
Well, but you get to hear his voice. He's
yeah.
Well, I know.
The Birdman of Alcatraz.
But you get to, now he's saying that he's the victim of a political hijacking. Sentence longer? No,
he's been saying that since he went to the clink.
Right, but he's saying he's sentenced longer. He is the longest sentence ever levied on a politician. Twice what George Ryan got.
He's a record holder. Hey, all right. Congratulations.
5 times longer than Jesse Jackson Jr. and 10 times longer than child molester Denny Hastert.
Well, he wasn't convicted of child molestation, let's remember.
It's not a case where they're accusing me of taking bags of cash. Personally, mine's a political contribution case. That's all that's left. Campaign contribution.
Yeah, Dan, it's all about campaign contributions, and everybody does it.
Well, I'm fighting, obviously, for my vindication, for, my freedom, for a future, what I believe is right. But I'm also fighting for the rule of law. And the rule of law is the bedrock of a free society.
So
Thank you, Lady Justice.
He and Patty believe that they moved the line of the rule of law in order to convict the former governor.
All I'm asking for is apply the right law. And if you apply the right law, I didn't cross the line. All I'm asking is put the line back to what the Supreme Court says it is, and you'll see I did what politicians do in campaign fundraising. I didn't break the law.
When you think of the rule of law, does the name Rod Blagojevich immediately come to mind? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Is the only thing standing between us and anarchy Rod Blagojevich and his commitment to the rule of law?
Well, Patty Blagojevich says he can't apologize, Dan, because he didn't do anything wrong.
No, of course.
You can't apologize for committing a crime that in your heart
you don't believe you committed. Firmly believe that, he was always on the right side of that line, and I really truly believe that the government moved the line just to convict him.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Resco said he followed the law. I mean, so, he's got great character witnesses. Chris Kelly, he can't speak to that. He can't speak to that anymore, I suppose.
No, he committed suicide. But Rod Blagojevich was just maintaining that he's doing what politicians in Chicago have been doing all along, raising campaign funds, and there was nothing wrong with that.
The standard they used to convict me, by lowering that standard and saying that if an elected official seeks a campaign contribution from someone who may have benefited by his or her administration, that's a crime, then every former president that's still alive is coming to prison, every governor that asks for campaign contributions, every mayor, every congressman, every senator, because every single day they raise campaign contributions from people in and around the halls of government who do things.
Is he wrong on that?
He's wrong on everything. So, I mean, I don't know why we have to spend time on this guy. It's just the same routine he's been running for 15 years. And I know you're like Blagojevich. You're in competition with Patty for Blagojevich sympathizer number one.
Oh, I'm a self-proclaimed Blagojevich sympathizer.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Number one, he is doing what politicians do. He's putting the blame everywhere but on himself. He's doing it right there.
Are you telling me he's doing the Hillary?
Yeah. What happened? Part 2, the Rod Blagojevich story.
What happened?
What happened? What? First I was, and then but it was supposed to be, but it was, what happened?
Is he blaming James Comey for his imprisonment?
Yeah, and the Russians. And so here's the thing. There's asking for a contribution, and then there's telling Children's Hospital, you're not getting the Medicaid dollars you're entitled to under law until you give me $50,000. You see the difference between those two?
And I heard those tapes, but he said not all of the tapes were played. Okay.
Well, I know. So Rod, you know, because you wanted all the tapes played. You've made reference to what's on those tapes. You're in for the long haul. Tell us what's on the tapes then, Mr. Clean Government Guy.
What's the tapes?
I would say they didn't reject me. The politicians in Springfield did. They're the ones who threw me out of office. God bless the people of Illinois. I never lost an election. The only election I lost was that second jury, and that was unanimous.
He was talking about being, impeached.
Oh, I'm familiar with it.
But
yes.
And real quickly, before we take phone calls, 312-642-5600. Did the interview change your mind about Rod Blagojevich? Patty has a point of contention.
It's just laughable.
Has a point of contention with the judge. Remember during the resentencing hearing, the girls spoke. They got up there, read a letter about how their love for their father, and she said Judge Zagel didn't even take 5 minutes to consider that.
The judge didn't even give them the courtesy of taking a 5-minute recess to think about what they said. I would never let them put themselves through that if I knew that it was going to be for absolutely nothing.
Oh, you know
broke
what?
Down on the stand.
Spare me. Spare
it was
me.
Emotional. I was there.
Well, I'm just. Judge Zagel's to blame too because he imposed sentence. Judge Zagel hears from the children of men, mostly, and a few women who go to federal prison every day. You think this is somehow unique? Daughters speaking on behalf of their father before he's sentenced to prison. It happens with virtually every person going to prison. So what? So it's customary. Number one, I'm sorry for the girls; they are victims in this too. Not Patty, but the two daughters are.
And they love their dad.
But Patty is as much of a conniving politician as is Rod. To say what she said. Oh, Zagel didn't consider my daughter's love for their father. Stipulated. It has nothing to do with sentencing. Bill in Woodridge, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Bill. Bill in Woodridge. Going once.
Bill.
Going twice. Paul in Lake Forest.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
I find it humorous that anybody would think that politics or licensing or anything in the state of Illinois or our city is fair. This is a guy whose father-in-law buried him. He didn't care about what he did to his daughter.
After he got him elected. He got him elected, by the way. Let's not forget the first part.
After he got him elected, he thought he was going to be on his side, and then he went after him when he had that
Affiliate
dump
landfill deal. Yep.
on the West landfill,
Yes,
right?
Right.
And I see Richard Mell every day at the East Bank, and I just look at the guy. He acts like nothing's wrong in his life. Everything's great. And he buried his own son-in-law and buried his daughter and his grandkids.
I know. I
And
think
for
if he never
anybody
did
to
that,
think that everything is fair in the state of Illinois, that's really funny. This is run by politicians. And if you don't have a connection or if you mess up with the wrong person, you get buried.
Thank you, Milton Rakoff. Exactly. Thanks for the call,
Dick
Paul.
Mel created Rod Blagojevich. I mean, he told me the whole story how they looked at the congressional district maps and decided, okay, we'll move here so that I can run for Congress.
Let me tell
And
you
then
something.
Dick Mel taught him how to campaign.
Yeah, the 33rd Ward feudal lord, Dick Mel. Dick Mel, Ed Burke, Mike Madigan, they're all cut from the same cloth.
Mm-hmm.
These are all thugs, okay?
And they all have mansions outside of their ward.
I could give you chapter and verse stories on Dick Mel, but we don't have the time.
Well, he's not
But-
the committeeman anymore.
I understand.
He got voted out.
You know, Dick, the idea, as Paul was recounting, you know, Dick Mel whiling away his retirement on the taxpayer dime at East Bank Club. I mean, these guys are thieves, government licensed thieves. Madigan, Mel, Burke, etc., etc., etc. Excuse my Yul Brynner. That's and what Paul is talking about is exactly right. We are all spare parts for politicians at every level in this state. That's why that's why it's a kleptocracy. Dick Mel, give me a break. George and Moni.
Hey, Dan. Maybe the problem is the line itself. I mean, is the line a piece of dental floss painted camouflage? Maybe we should build the wall and then paint the line, even bigger. Make it wider and paint it fluorescent orange.
Build the wall. Yes, thanks for the call, George. Yeah, it's not that complicated. You don't threaten people when you ask them for campaign cash. You don't threaten them with the powers attendant to your office. I don't think it's that complicated. Actually, a lot of people are able to raise money without doing that, it turns out. Not Rod Blagojevich, of course, but a lot of other people.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Father Jenkins, social justice Catholic president of Notre Dame, so obvious was Di-Fi and Durbin's Catholic bigotry that even Father Jenkins compelled to weigh in at 6:36.
And later, Hillary Clinton compares herself to a Game of Thrones character. We'll see if there is any comparison. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
61 degrees. We have heavy fog in the area. And the death toll in Florida now 15 from Hurricane Irma-related flooding and this emergency. 5 killed in Orange County. 3 of one family. They died of carbon monoxide poisoning from a generator running inside their home. The president himself will travel to Florida tomorrow to view damage from Irma.
The president's action during these times demonstrate why he's a true leader who can bring the country together and get things done for the American people.
We're tracking Jose this morning. Remember Jose? Just barely a hurricane now, meandering in the Atlantic between Bermuda and the Bahamas. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders stepping up his campaign to open Medicare to all Americans. The Progressive is expected to introduce a bill today to do just that. It's a single-payer proposal that has been growing in support among progressive Democrats in the Senate this week, but backing is still very small. ESPN separating itself from SportsCenter anchor Jemele Hill's comments about President Trump. Hill calling Trump a white supremacist unfit to be president in a series of tweets on Monday. ESPN saying the network has addressed the issue. The U.S. Supreme Court is allowing the Trump administration to implement its broad ban on refugees. The High Court blocking a federal appeals court ruling that would have allowed refugees into the U.S. if they had a formal contract with a resettlement agency. The president himself praising the UN Security Council for imposing a new round of sanctions on North Korea.
We had a vote yesterday on sanctions. We think it's just another very small step, not a big deal.
The UN vote was unanimous. At the White House yesterday, the president said the latest sanctions are nothing compared to what will ultimately have to happen to deal with North Korea's advancing nuclear program. Hundreds of union nurses at Chicago's University of Illinois Hospital will not be hitting picket lines. Nurses have reached a tentative contract deal with the hospital. Cook County commissioners expected to introduce a motion today to repeal the sweetened beverage tax. Authorities investigating the deaths of a man and woman in Cicero. Their bodies were found yesterday in the 5100 block of West 25th Place. And so what is that smell in Vernon Hills this morning? It's skunks. Skunks roaming free in Vernon Hills. These are the best of times and worst of times for us and skunks. Best of times for the black and white creatures because of a wet spring, a smorgasbord of fruit and grubs, and mild weather over the summer. So there is a small army of smelly critters frolicking all over Vernon Hills. So the village is putting residents to work, a bounty of sorts on the head of every smelly critter, to help residents pay for professional trappers whose services can run about $200. Vernon Hills is offering $75 for each skunk that trappers capture and remove from a resident's property. Cubs clobber the Mets 8-3. Royals beat the White Sox 4-3. And the Indians have won 20 baseball games in a row, tying the longest winning streak in American League history with a win last night over the Tigers. The news service of Jewel-Osco. Shop Jewel-Osco for juicy savings on large cantaloupe, only 99 cents each. 16-ounce packages of O Organics, 85% lean ground beef, just $3.99 while supplies last. And a gallon of Jewel brand milk is only $1.99, limit 2. 6:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Vestuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had some ulcer issues on my leg that I had from Vietnam. It would erupt on occasion of periods of stress. When I was taking juices, these ulcers had disappeared, but I was not able to get good quality fruits and vegetables to make good juices. And, these ulcers came back. But since I've been taking the fruit and the veggie capsules, these ulcers again have subsided.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It is 6:36. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The northbound tri-state has delays from Southwest Highway to Archer, from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and it's heavy from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway stop and go from the tri-state to Kennedy. On westbound 8094, we see delay. Grant to before Klein. Edens, 26 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 32 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 40. About Eisenhower, 54 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 37. Stevenson, 54 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan is 28 minutes. 95th to downtown, I-57. 43 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Mission Forge, 22. traffic service of Staples. Staples helps your business create color presentations for less. Now get 20% back in Staples rewards on color copies, manuals, and presentations that are designed to impress. Staples, it's pro time. Offer ends 11/4/17. Exclusions apply. Go to staples.com/20color for more. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A morning shower in spots and some heavy fog. Clouds will give way to sun in the afternoon and a high of 73. Patchy clouds and 58 overnight. 61 at O'Hare, 64 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit beingseen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. beingseen360.com.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Should DiFi and Durbin resign? And I'm not saying this just because, you don't like them because they're leftists. I'm saying, should they resign because they've violated their oath of office? Should they resign because they're attempting to apply religious tests to judicial appointments and others that require Senate confirmation to serve at the federal government level? It's a serious question about should they resign. And this is a position that's been taken by Robbie George, friend of the show, who is a noted law professor at Princeton University, in response to how, in particular, Senator Dianne Feinstein conducted herself in the confirmation hearing with Amy Barrett, who is a Notre Dame law professor and a nominee for the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals.
And mother of 7.
Faithful
Bless
Catholic, as she describes herself. Because of DiFi's performance, Robert George tweeted, "This is disgusting. Catholics should not tolerate liberal bigotry a moment longer. Senator Feinstein, you've shown your true colors. Resign." Trent Franks, Republican from Arizona, has suggested that Senate Democrats are abrogating their oath of office by applying religious tests.
Well, they
Should
insinuated.
they resign? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Could you imagine if a Catholic senator had queried a Muslim nominee for the appellate court
or a
Jewish nominee for the appellate court the way that DiFi and others, including our own Sack of Durbin, tried to prosecute Amy Barrett, the inquisitors of a different sort, the Torquemadas of the 21st century. Listen to a few examples of what I'm talking about in case you haven't heard.
You have a long history of believing that your religious beliefs should prevail. But over time, we learn to also judge what they think and whether their thoughts enable them to be free to observe the law.
So in spite of the fact that you had written in an earlier article that Catholic judges, and you would be a Catholic judge, you would not recuse yourself from death penalty cases. Well, then let me pose the question. Then if you were not up for a circuit court, but for a district court, would you recuse yourself as a Catholic judge from death penalty cases?
Why is it that so many of us on this side have this very uncomfortable feeling that,
because you're a bigot,
dogma and law are two different things? And I think whatever a religion is, it has its own dogma. The law is totally different. And I think in your case, Professor, when you read your speeches, the conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you. And that's of concern when you come to big issues that large numbers of people have fought for for years in this country.
John Jenkins, the president of Notre Dame, from whence Amy Barrett hails as a law professor. This is a guy who invited Obama to speak on campus. This is a guy who conferred the Latari Medal to Joe Biden. Okay, this is a social justice Catholic. John Jenkins is a mess. Just want to make clear I'm no John Jenkins fan.
Okay,
And
I
he's-
got the point.
And he's no conservative Catholic. Here's what
Did he ever pretend that he was a conservative Catholic?
No.
Okay.
But for people that don't know, his particular disposition or forgotten some of his history, let me remind you before sharing with you the statement that he wrote in response to this, that rose to the level where John Jenkins had a break with his Democrat Party and write this. It is chilling to hear from a United States Senator that this might now disqualify someone from service as a federal judge, their Catholicism. I ask you and your colleagues to respect those in whom, quote unquote, dogma lives loudly, which is a condition we call faith. For the attempt to live such faith while one upholds the law should command respect, not evoke concern. The uneasy feeling that the bigoted Di-Fi described. And by the way, again, Dick Durbin piled on.
Yeah, well, they're saying that Catholics are unable to separate church and state because they place religious alliances before the oath of the Constitution. And I think it's great that the president of Notre Dame stood up and said something.
And it's important to note that there are Catholics who have previously been appointed to the bench. Have you heard this?
Wait, they let Catholics on the Supreme Court? I heard an Episcopalian's there now, too.
Yeah.
Things are getting nutty over there.
Was Scalia able to separate his Catholicism from the Constitution?
Dan, I'm going to go yes for 500.
So I'd love to hear from all the Irish Democrats populating the circuit courts in Cook County about this, right? The Irish Catholic Democrats. Boy, awfully silent in the face of bigotry, in the face of a 150-year-old stereotype, as Noah Feldman writes about in Bloomberg. Feinstein's anti-Catholic questions are an outrage. A good piece.
Could you imagine, though, if they had a black nominee and they asked her if she could be objective given her background?
Well, I mean, this is a religious test,
I know,
not
but
a
still.
racial test.
But even if you're Jewish or Muslim, said,
Yes.
could you...
Yes,
you know,
right.
Are you able to put your religion second, the Constitution first?
Mm-hmm.
They'd
by
be
the way,
vilified and run out of office.
By the way, something Di-Fi said too, dogma. I mean, dogma is an article of faith laid down by an authority. You think that the left doesn't have their own secular dogma? The whole kind of dogma lives loudly. Well, perhaps it does. What's the dogma that lives loudly in Durbin and Di-Fi? And I'll tell you what, I mean, the Catholic Church, there's a lot of legitimate criticisms of the church. Here's one. Sometimes that church leaders don't let the dogma live loudly in them. An exception is Bishop Thomas Paprocki down in Springfield, who said that Senator Durbin, oh, by the way, Senator Durbin, not permitted to receive Holy Communion in Springfield, Durbin's home city. Yeah. And he's right. But very few will hold to church teaching, which is their responsibility as a church leader, the way that Bishop Paprocki does when it comes to Catholics who hate Catholicism, self-professed Catholics who identify as Catholic for political reasons or, cultural inertia like Dick Durbin, and hold them to account based on the tenets of the faith from the church's perspective, not as a matter of law. So, it's an interesting controversy, and it's the reason it's extended now nearly a week from that hearing is because you're having respected intellectuals weigh in from across the spectrum because they understand the idea that, you want to start applying religious tests? Well, that can cut a lot of different ways, can't it? Very dangerous precedent to set. It's un-American. It's bigotry is what it is. And this is a time where everybody needs to be held to account for acting in furtherance of what they say they believe, or be recorded as not having done so. Chuck in the Grange, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, good morning, folks. I'd just like to ask one question of America, one of our esteemed senators. Would they allow a young senator from Massachusetts back in 1960 to serve? Would he be able to serve America proudly?
Yeah.
It goes, like you said, it goes both ways. It is a dangerous precedent. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks for the call, Chuck. It's a good one. Hey, so, yeah, what about that? Chris Kennedy. Anybody want to ask Chris Kennedy about the Di-Fi Durbin comments?
Oh, that would
Especially
be
Durbin?
good.
You know, I know no one in the Chicago press corps, except us, wants to ask Luis Gutierrez or other Democrats about Luis Gutierrez's comments, El Gallito's disgraceful, reprehensible comments about General Kelly, Gold Star father, who, quote-unquote, is a disgrace to the uniform he used to wear. That's what Gallito said about Kelly because he disagrees with the Mondaca policy. No one's asked about that. No one's held to account. Anybody held to account? Catholic Democrats who populate the halls of power in Chicago, in Cook County, for generations in the State House. Anybody want to ask them about Durbin's comments? Their senior senator, I mean, it's our senior senator from Illinois, but one of their senior party elders. Anybody going to hold them to account? Where's those intrepid reporters like Carol Maureen? Yeah, exactly. It's a laugh line, I know. That's what the Chicago and Springfield press corps are, a laugh line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Florida's major airports beginning to get back to normal. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin waffling on Trump tax cuts and new federal deficit figures due out today. Those stories are next.
If you have unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay, please hear this special notice. Specially approved IRS relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers are now in effect that can significantly improve your financial situation. Depending on your circumstances, you may qualify to have your tax problem resolved in your favor and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely. A relief hotline has been established by Community Tax for you to call and see if you qualify at 800-804-7445. If you owe the IRS back taxes that you can't afford to pay, don't let the IRS trick you into thinking you have no way out. Our highly accredited tax professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-804-7445. 800-804-7445. That's 800-804-7445. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says he's incredibly hopeful that a tax plan can be enacted this year, but he also says he's not certain the president's goal of cutting corporate taxes to 15% is achievable. President Trump is on a cross-country swing to push for that tax plan. Economic reports today include the latest producer price index and the Treasury's report on the federal budget deficit. 3 days after being shut down by Hurricane Irma, the FAA says most commercial airports in Florida have reopened, but more than 2,000 flights yesterday were canceled, and major airlines this morning advising passengers to check on their flight status before heading to the airport. Join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
How would you like to have insurance for your computer network? Something to protect your hardware, software, and more importantly, give you peace of mind. Well, using Turnkey IT for installation and support of your systems is the best decision you can make because it is like having insurance for your computer network. For one affordable monthly cost, your office can receive Office 365 hosting, advanced network protection, cloud backup, disaster recovery, and unlimited remote and on-site support. Yes, they'll help you over the phone and make house calls to your workplace. And they don't wait until there's an emergency call because they work hard to take preventative measures to make sure your network is secure, backed up, and running nonstop. And now more than ever, you need to call Turnkey IT. So find out what Turnkey IT can do for your company today. It's easy. Just visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
When was the last time you thought about the HVAC system that works 24/7 to keep you comfortable and in business? One of the most important, yet overlooked aspects of life in the 21st century is reliable climate control for both people and product. It's one of the many things we take for granted. We'll be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Then there's a failure or utility bill that's sky high. Avoid unpleasant surprises with your indoor comfort. For repairs and preventative maintenance on your commercial and industrial HVAC systems, call EHMS Mechanical Services. The equipment that maintains the environment you work in and supports the products you make is so important. When it fails, you'll need EHMS Mechanical Services, one of the fastest response commercial HVAC companies in Chicagoland. Help lower the overall cost of your HVAC equipment with comprehensive maintenance programs, energy-reducing retrofits, and rapid response service from EHMS Mechanical Services. Call 847-801-1000 or lovemyhvac.com.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers and Maternity Homes, is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on a path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org. Or join me at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author, on Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club. Go to helpaidforwomen.org for reservations or more information on Aid for Women's Life-Saving Network. Again, that website, helpaidforwomen.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've had 10 major surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries. And I have extreme rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And I wanted to let him know that his Balance of Nature have helped boost my immune system so much, because I'm on injectable medications for the rheumatoid, and they bring down your immune system. Since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I haven't gotten a cold, nothing. It really helped me tremendously.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at PCGconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. I want to answer some frequently asked home mortgage questions today. First, how much do I need for a down payment? There are 1% down payment programs currently running, as well as programs that will allow you to get the entire down payment as a gift. We also have programs where a family member can co-sign for the mortgage in order to help the borrower qualify. Do I need perfect credit to qualify for a loan? The answer is no. All these programs have restrictions, so please give me a call at 312-896-2110 and I'll be happy to go over them. Another question is, can I take cash out of my house to pay off high-interest credit card debt? The answer is yes, but you need to have enough equity in your house to make it happen. Why Townstone instead of the big banks? Because since 2002, we pride ourselves on beating the big banks on closing costs and interest rates every day. Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call 312-896-2110 or go to townstone.com.
Listen to the Townstone Financial Show Saturdays at 1 p.m. here on AM 560. Townstone Financial is an Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543 an absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, we're talking about the Kennedys.
Oh, yeah, but can I read your text message real quick?
Yeah.
Good morning, Amy. Is this why I see Senator Durbin at Old Pat's?
Old St. Pat's.
Old St. Pat's a couple of times a year because he can't get communion in Springfield.
Maybe. I don't know. Should be thrown out at Old St. Pat's, too. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Since we're talking about the Kennedys and
Catholicism.
Yeah. Chappaquiddick. New movie starring Jason Clarke as Ted Kennedy. Jason Clarke. You ever see the series Brotherhood?
No.
That's good.
I'm Amish. I live in a shoe.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I don't get out much.
He, what else was Jason? He had bit roles in like Everest and Zero Dark 30. Anyway, he's a good actor, Australian actor.
He's going to play Ted.
He
better start drinking now.
Very good review.
Really?
In Variety. It's being received well at the Toronto Film Fest. Chappaquiddick is exactly what you want it to be. Tense, scrupulous, absorbing, precise, and authentic piece of history. A tabloid scandal attached to a smoke-filled room travesty. It is gratifyingly compact, restrained, and level-headed. Drama that doesn't hype what it shows you. Teases the intrigue out of facts, and and it goes on from there, and it gives Jason Clarke rave reviews as well. It's only it's an hour and 47 minutes.
Okay.
So I think
I think I'm going to watch.
Well, I think it's a great date night flick. I mean, unless you're a Kennedy.
Date night. Funny, haha. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll talk to John Lott Jr. at 7:07 about his idea to apply background checks to voting like we do for gun purchases.
And later, excerpts from her book, What Happened? Hillary did contemplate divorcing Bill. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Lake County raises the age to buy cigarettes. Cubs clobber the Mets. WIND Chicago News Time, 7.
Irma's gone, but the danger's not. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Just when you think you made it through the storm and whatnot, you got to be ready for anything. You got to be cautious.
Cautious, especially using a generator. He's a neighbor of the family in Orlando that had one inside their home yesterday, one of millions that lost power in Florida during the hurricane. 3 people died in the house. 4 were hospitalized. Another person was killed with a generator inside a house in Daytona Beach. This as people keep cleaning up Irma's damage statewide. Some still can't go home to the lower Florida Keys, where nearly every home was damaged. Fox's Phil Keating just talked to one resident.
Hanging out in the car for the last 6 days, up to Tampa, to Jacksonville, and now back here, just waiting to get through that roadblock there to get checking on the house and checking on the businesses down in Key West.
And you can't find anything out? No cell service?
No, cell service is gone. We are sitting out here just waiting for the police to tell us what's going on.
How miserable?
It's miserable. It's hot, muggy.
Millions remain out of power. Could be until next week or later. President Trump will travel to Florida tomorrow, tweeting he'll meet with the Coast Guard, FEMA, and brave first responders. He also tweeted the morning after having dinner with 6 Republican and Democratic senators. Congress must move fast on the biggest tax cut package in history. What an ESPN anchor tweeted about him has caused controversy. Fox's Carly Shimkus has details live.
Dave, SportsCenter host Jemele Hill landing in hot water for a series of tweets. Hill writing, quote, Donald Trump is a white supremacist who has largely surrounded himself with other white supremacists. In another tweet, she called President Trump a bigot. Colin Kaepernick supporting Hill's stance, tweeting, "We are with you, Jemele Hill." Many viewers calling on Twitter for a boycott of ESPN and for Hill to be fired. ESPN released a statement saying her tweets do not represent the network's perspective and that Hill recognizes her actions were inappropriate. Dave?
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
66 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy, and there's some heavy fog out there this morning. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Hundreds of union nurses will be back on the job and not walking picket lines this morning. The Illinois Nurses Association says they have reached a tentative deal with the hospital. The union was ready to walk off the job for a 24-hour strike if a deal was not reached. One Cook County commissioner says Cook County will get by without any money from the controversial penny-an-ounce sweetened drink tax. AM 560's David Stewart went to Richard Boykin and asked him to explain how.
Commissioner Richard Boykin says if the tax does what Board President Tony Preckwinkle says it will, namely reduce consumption of sweetened drinks, the county would be in a financial bind.
Well, if they drink less of it, guess what? We don't get the revenue that she said that we need to realize in order to fund county government.
Boykin says if the tax were repealed, the money could be made up with the combination of a hiring freeze, an elimination of vacant jobs, and a pay freeze. A motion to repeal the tax could come up at Wednesday's board meeting, but Preckwinkle allies could block an immediate vote. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
The age to buy cigarettes is going up next year in unincorporated parts of Lake County, Illinois. The county board approving an ordinance yesterday that raises the minimum age to buy tobacco products to 21. Authorities investigating the deaths of a man and woman in Cicero. The bodies found in the 5100 block of West 25th Place. The count is now 23. Suburban Democrat Carol Sente yesterday telling the Daily Herald she will not run for re-election next year. Sente, the 23rd Illinois lawmaker to retire, decide not to run again or announce plans for a different office. Sente blames the lack of a role for moderates in Springfield for her departure. Cubs clobber the Mets 8-3. Royals hang on to beat the White Sox 4-3. And the Bears place another starter on IR. Linebacker Jarrell Freeman out with a pec injury. The news, a service of CiCi's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder doesn't see an answer from experts for climate change.
Do I believe that climate change is real? Yes, because the climate is always changing, which is why they've gone from saying global warming to climate change, because with that it's heads I win, tails you lose.
There is no consensus about the degree to which man has participated in this?
There certainly is no consensus about what to do about it, whether or not we ought to spend all this money to transfer from a fossil-based fuel to a so-called renewable-based energy.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
7:06. Some light rain and fog out there this morning, and that could be gumming up your works the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's get you there on time with Jim Talamonte.
It is, Mike, you're right. The travel times are rising on the Edens inbound. First, we see delays on the spur from Waukegan Road to the Edens. Then it's really heavy from Gulf Road to the junction. 39 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. How about 27? The Kennedy. 57 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 24 from Montrose. 21 in the Express. How about 44 minutes to Montrose? An hour and 4 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's an hour and 10 minutes already. From Thorndale to the post office. 53 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 51 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 14 minutes. 3:55 to the Drive. 58 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 48 minutes to 3:55. Ryan, 31 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 36 minutes. I-80 to the Burridge, Bishop Ford, 30. Lakeshore Drive still okay. Northbound Tri-State. Stop and go Southwest Highway to the 83rd Street toll. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway slow from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Reagan Tollway from Mill to Highland. The Veterans Memorial from I-55 to the Reagan Tollway. Butterfield to St. Charles and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Brian May.
A morning shower in places, otherwise clouds giving way to some sun, high 73. Tonight, patch of clouds, low 59. Partly sunny and nice tomorrow, high 79. Friday, sunshine and very warm, high 85. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
61 at O'Hare, 64 along the lakefront. Again, a reminder, rain and fog out there this morning. Your next news update, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We talked about this op-ed yesterday a little bit. John Lott Jr. has proposed this idea comparing constitutional rights, your right to self-protection, your Second Amendment right, right to vote, and the half a dozen amendments that govern Americans' right to vote. And he said, well, if background checks for gun purchases are acceptable, really across the partisan spectrum, then why not a background check for voting? He distills that argument, which we'll get to in a second, and it couldn't be more relevant at the local level. Remember, we're talking about federal elections, the right to vote, because elections are mainly state and local issues, matters. So there's a law that prohibits non-citizens from voting at the federal law level that's been enforced for 2 decades. But at the local level, you have half a dozen or so hamlets that allow non-citizens to vote in various elections. And yesterday, College Park, Maryland, which is the hometown of the University of Maryland, the city council there in College Park approved the allowance of non-citizens to vote in municipal elections in College Park, joining half a dozen other towns just in Maryland, allowing legal permanent residents and undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections. Is that coming to a hamlet near us? Perhaps a bigger one than College Park, given the increasing intensity around immigration law in this country with DACA and DAPA and border security. I think most people don't know that there are a handful of communities around the country that allow non-citizens and undocumented people here illegally to vote. Local and state issue are these elections. Something that bears consideration in Illinois since we just recently became a sanctuary state, don't you think? For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid John Lott. He is the president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, the author of a number of bestsellers, including The War on Guns and More Guns, Less Crime. John, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's great to talk to you again. Thanks for having me on.
So the op-ed that you penned for the Tribune, you make out the case that I just suggested kind of at a top-line level, but give us the logic of applying the gun background check to voting.
Right. Well, the federal rules and state rules in cases for people being able to vote are very similar to the rules that you have for people to be able to go and own a gun, whether it be citizen. You obviously have to be a citizen to be able to vote in federal elections and basically state elections across the country. And those things are checked when you go and buy a gun. Also, whether or not you have a felony record is also something that's relevant for many states. 34 states, at least over some period of time, prohibit people from being able to go and vote if they have a felony record. And in 9 states, they're completely barred from voting, and in 25 other states, they're banned from voting for a period of time if they're a felon. And so we have this system, the NICS system, and the reason why I thought about it, the reason why I suggested it was, here's a system that Democrats think works extremely well. They don't think that it interferes in any way with people's ability for self-defense. I can find you literally many hundreds of quotes by prominent Democrats praising the system and how well it works, and that it doesn't infringe on people's ability to defend themselves. And so if they really believe that, then I thought maybe it might serve as a compromise way to go and deal with concerns that Republicans have about people who aren't eligible to voting in this country.
Have any Democrats embraced your idea about background voting checks?
Well, I testified yesterday to President Trump's Voter Integrity Commission. They had a hearing in New Hampshire, and the state of New Hampshire Secretary of State, who is a Democrat, came up to me afterwards and said that he was very intrigued by the idea and that he wanted to look into it more, but he thought that it was a serious proposal. Here we have a very polarizing issue between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans believe that there's a fair amount of fraud that's occurring with regard to voting, particularly with regard to illegal aliens voting. And Democrats think that it's just in Republicans' imagination that that's occurring.
Oh, there's been a lot of imaginary prosecutions for voter fraud if it's just in Republicans' minds, haven't there been?
No, I understand. I mean, I can point to elections that have been thrown out by judges around the country in just the last couple of years, and have to be rerun because of issues of fraud occurring. So, it's the claim that there's never any fraud is obviously wrong. The question is how much is occurring. The amazing thing to me is how negative the coverage has been in the news media since my piece yesterday and since I testified, and how it's kind of journalistic standards of kind of talking to the person who you're criticizing just don't seem to apply. So
imagine that.
I mean, I have had, like the Washington Post had like 3 articles yesterday on my proposal, and the reporters just didn't call me up.
What's that?
They'd have.
Yeah, when we talked about it yesterday, you said it was, let's hear from a Democrat. I want to hear from a Democrat or somebody that opposes it. Give me the counter argument.
Oh, they're saying that it costs money and that the voter or the state would have to pay to have background checks.
It costs money to have elections too.
Mhm.
So should we not eliminate elections? Should we eliminate
just
elections
telling you
because it
what they're
costs money?
saying.
So the cost money thing is easily dismissed. The
I think
the question. So what are the arguments that you're anticipating or have seen that need to be addressed, John?
Well, I do want to say one thing quickly about the costs that are there, because I think they're going to be a lot lower than most people might think. You know, when you go and you get a background check on a private transfer of a gun, you know, in a place like Washington, D.C., it can run $175. And a place like Oregon, which is about the cheapest, it's like $55. But it's a lot different to go and do a background check on each person who comes to the store, having to call up, having to have the federally licensed dealer spend time on the phone doing that. What we're talking about here is something more analogous to what you see happen with many states with concealed carry permits. Kentucky, for example, every month runs its entire list of concealed carry permit holders through the NICS database. In my understanding, it's a fairly trivial cost for them to go and do that kind of batch, large comparison.
Yeah. And look, I mean, look, the whole cost thing is easy to dismiss. We've heard this too. You know, you have to pay a fee, so you know you run into potentially a poll tax problem. No, you don't. Listen, let's just take the money off the table. We'll figure out a way to pay for it. We're not going to impose a cost on any individual voter.
Right.
We're not going to get into poll taxes, obviously. So let's just strip that away. What else do you got in terms of opponents to this?
The only other thing that I've heard is that it will suppress voting. And my response to that is, but you're telling me that it doesn't suppress people's ability to go and buy a gun for self-defense. Why then is it going to suppress voting? And I haven't really gotten a response to that. I mean,
Well, they're saying that some voters are distrustful of law enforcement, so they might be intimidated because they don't want a background check, so they might not vote.
I understand, but those same
argument for the background check
will say that it doesn't have any impact on people's ability to get a gun for self-defense. So why is it that people who want to go and buy a gun aren't going to be intimidated by having to go through law enforcement, but people who are going to vote are?
Well, in addition to that, haven't we been beset for the last almost a year now about the integrity of our elections from an external threat being Russia? So we're concerned about external threats to the integrity of our elections, but not any internal threats. I thought any threat to the integrity of our elections would be a threat that we'd want to address, wouldn't it?
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm still waiting to hear what why they think that there's going to be a different set of arguments here than there would be for the background checks that are used for buying guns. As I said, I can give you, in my piece yesterday, I gave a quote from Senator Chuck Schumer saying that he doesn't think that background checks on people purchasing guns, quote, in any way discourages or interferes with people's ability to be able to go and have guns for self-defense.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, Amy, could you elaborate on why you think that there's a different effect there? Why they would go and be so categorical that it has absolutely no effect on people's ability to go and obtain a gun for self-defense, but it would somehow on voting?
Well, it's just another. I'm just reading what some Democrats had said that oppose this.
Yeah.
Because they're just saying that would be, they don't want a background check. They don't want maybe.
Gee, I wonder why that.
I don't know why they don't want a background check.
Yeah, John, I think you're going to be
something to hide.
I think you're going to be waiting for a substantive response that undermines the comparison that you offer for some time to come, because the Democrats can't be honest. Those who oppose this can't be honest about why they oppose it, and we know why they oppose it. This is not that complicated.
I mean, the other thing that's kind of shocked me is also the amount of anger. I mean, I can't tell you. I sometimes get calls after op-eds or whatever run, but I literally got, I don't know, maybe 24 phone calls yesterday where people were calling up and yelling and screaming on the phone.
Really?
Because of the piece that I ran. and the testimony that I gave yesterday.
He is
So
John. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just we gotta jump. Unfortunately, John Lott Jr., president of the Crime Prevention Center, author of The War on Guns and More Guns, Less Crime. You can check out his latest piece at ChicagoTribune.com. That's generating those spirited phone calls. Apply background checks for gun purchases to voting. John Lott Jr., thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great talking to you again. Thanks.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, why children shouldn't be on adult television. But first, here's your forecast. We had some areas of fog this morning, but that's starting to clear up. Could have a morning shower in places, remnants from Hurricane Irma, believe it or not. And then clouds giving way to some sun by this afternoon. A high of 73 tomorrow. Sunny, a high of 78. And then it kicks in the heat and humidity Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Get this, highs in the mid to upper 80s. Now let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is the one and only Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Good morning. Amy, you're inbound Kennedy's no fun at all right now. It's jammed all the way in from O'Hare. An hour and 10 minutes from the airport to downtown. 33 minutes from Montrose, 31 in the Express. And outbound, it's an hour and 2 minutes from downtown to O'Hare. Edens, 36 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 33. The Eisenhower, an hour and 11 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 49 minutes from Manheim, outbound 52 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 49 minutes. The Rhine is 34 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 45 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 43. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is now heavy, Belmont to North Avenue, northbound from Soldier Field to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State delays from Southwest Highway to 83rd Street toll. The Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. And from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, Veterans Memorial slow. I-55 most of the way to St. Charles and Army Trail to 290. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Dan Proft here with an important message for Chicagoland business owners. If you own or rent your building, chances are that you're paying more than your fair share of property taxes. Ask yourself this question. If you could lower your property taxes with the help of licensed professionals who have an 80% average success rate, yes, you heard that right, an 80% success rate, lowering business owners' property taxes, would you do that? Corporate Valuation Advisors has reduced their clients' property taxes on average by 20% over their 25-year service history throughout the greater Chicagoland area. Here's a Corporate Valuation Advisor's recent property tax savings success story from a local Chicago business owner. Their first year of property tax savings equaled $26,265. The total four-year property tax savings equaled $104,679. Call Corporate Valuation Advisors. They can help. 630-923-5371. That's 630-923-5371. You can also find them at yourfairtax.com or visit 560theanswer.com and look for the Corporate Valuation Advisors banner.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. I occasionally take new customer calls, and too often people tell me that they have heard our advertisements for years. If Balance of Nature is not currently being delivered to your doorstep, start now and begin experiencing the benefits of Balance of Nature in your life. Call and see how you can get your free month supply.
I noticed a difference in the first month.
I got rid of most of my other vitamins. I feel pretty good, even though I'm an old guy, 77. I think it's doing great.
I just feel good. I just believe they're really what they say they are.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866
SEEN 360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
Our global and interconnected world impacts the market from more angles than ever before. Learn how to have more control over your investments and make proactive decisions based on market indicators. The show not to miss is Empowered Investing, Strategies for Proactive Investors, Saturdays at noon. Hosted by Joe Lopresti, founder of the Investor Education Institute and veteran investment manager with Arlington Capital Management. Stop following the herd. Learn how to become a smarter investor. Empowered Investing, Saturdays at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, poor Sergio Dip, the 29-year-old rookie reporter, little Cub sports reporter. He works for ESPN Deportes, so this was his first shot on ESPN English because his English is the second language.
Yeah, he actually got to cover professional sport.
It's a pleasure to be with you guys here on the field from up close, just watching Coach Vance Joseph from here. You watch him now on the screen. This diversity in his background is helping him a lot tonight. Quarterback at Colorado, defensive back in the NFL, and here he is having the time of his life.
Now
That's how Sergio knew, because that's Vance Joseph singing on the sidelines.
Well, he didn't leave it alone. I mean, people were, ripping on him and complimenting him on Twitter and on Facebook.
By the way, the his diversity that was helping him, I believe the score was 0-0 at the time. And Vance Joseph was, working as a football coach. He wasn't running around like Hale Irwin after winning the U.S. Open, shaking hands. He was looking at he's got his headset on. He's looking at his play sheet. He's managing the game for his team.
Well, he wanted to show some respect and make his debut as a minority on America on this, the most heartfelt day in the great country made up of immigrants, on 9/11.
It's been a couple of hours now trying to digest what just happened to a
for us too
29-year-old Mexican guy.
Oh gosh.
He's emotional. He cries. Seriously.
Of course he does.
It's 9/11. I'm in Denver, Colorado, and this is the NFL. A Monday night football game between the Broncos and the Chargers.
Okay. Ready for this.
I was studying my elementary school September 11, 2001.
Don't remind us how young you
in
are.
Calexico, California. Born in Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico.
Can you get to a point?
Okay, ready?
Here we go. Get to a point, please.
On the most heartfelt day in this great country made up by immigrants.
Like Vance Joseph.
Yes.
Except
and
he's
on
not.
some people's perspective,
He's
it
talking
all
about.
went wrong.
He's not an immigrant.
That's what
But
he
I
said.
truly
Well,
meant no disrespect.
It's ridiculous.
Because all I wanted to do was to show some love to these two historical head coaches. Hopefully, I'll have another chance. And be sure I'll make the most out of it.
I mean, does he think too highly of himself there?
Let's play him out.
Now
Sergio's the one having a time of his life, not Vance Joseph. Oh my gosh.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll hear from Ricky Martin on the NFL while we're at it. And also Hillary. What happened?
And how she was planning on possibly divorcing Bill. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
66 degrees. We've had some rain and fog this morning, and Irma's Florida death toll is up to 16. State emergency officials say the storm killed 5 in Orange County, including 3 members of one family who died of carbon monoxide poisoning from a generator running inside their home. Many in Florida are still in the dark. It's chaos in the Keys. 4.3 million homes and businesses are without electricity because of Irma, just about 45% of Florida's utility customers. President Trump says he is working on tax reform with Democrats. Senators Joe Manchin, Heidi Heitkamp, Joe Donnelly, all very vulnerable in 2018, attended a bipartisan dinner at the White House last night. Senator Manchin of West Virginia saying there was agreement between the two sides. Lawmakers are growing increasingly anxious about North Korea. At a House hearing yesterday, California Republican Ed Royce,
which now pose an urgent threat to the United States. Moreover, the apparent speed in which these North Korean advancements have occurred are challenging the security structure across East Asia.
Royce is helming North Korea hearings before the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Hundreds of union nurses at Chicago's University of Illinois Hospital will not be hitting picket lines. The Illinois Nurses Association says they've reached a tentative contract agreement with the hospital. Cook County commissioners are expected to introduce a motion today to repeal the controversial sweetened beverage tax led by Commissioner Richard Boykin.
This has never been about health care. This has always been about money and revenue. This is a money grab. What we got to do, we got to can the tax.
Boykin laying out a plan to eliminate the penny an ounce fee through spending cuts. A CPS inspector general claims a high school inside the Cook County Jail has committed academic fraud for years. A report released by the Nicholas Schuler, the IG, accuses York Alternative High School of granting attendance and course credit to students who didn't attend class. His investigation dates back to 2012. Schuler is urging CPS to fire York Alternative's principal. Cubs clobber the Mets 8-3. Royals get a grand slam in the first and hang on to beat the White Sox 4-3. The News is a service of CiCi's. Want to taste that sauced and tossed flavor of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 7:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher gets a bad feeling about the North Korea situation.
My instincts generally serve me pretty well.
I'm going to just tell you flat out.
I have a very bad feeling about what Kim Jong-un is up to. And it's on him. But I have a bad feeling about this little chubby, weird dictator of North Korea.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Come to Cabela's Great Outdoor Days with special events and giveaways, plus doorbusters for 5 hours only, starting 8 a.m. Saturday, August 12th. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his 2 business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Vestuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Does how you feel interfere with your lifestyle? Take control before it does. Harvard Medical recently published a paper on how to decrease your risk of cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, bowel and vision problems. The answer, backed by dozens of studies, is not vitamins. It's eating more fruits and vegetables in their whole, complete form. 4 simple tips that I've used with my patients over the years are: 1. Keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them readily. 2. Get crazy. Explore the produce aisle and choose something new. 3. Make it a meal. Try new recipes that include more vegetables and fruits. And the easiest of all, to get the complete nutrition of 31 different fruits and vegetables every day. Take Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
7:36. Let's get an update on that right around town this morning. The latest from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, and here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens inbound is 36 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 39. The Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour and 2 minutes. The Eisenhower's an hour and 11 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 52 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 20. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 49 minutes. Ryan, 36 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 45 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 43. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, now very heavy. Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Northbound Tri-State jam. Cicero to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Adams Tollway okay. Reagan Tollway still Farnsworth to Highland. Veterans Memorial. I-55 most of the way to St. Charles. The Army Trail toll to 290. Traffic service of Accountemps. Finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Let Accountemps help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance candidates, you can be sure to find the professional with the skills for your hiring needs. Visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Morning shower and some heavy fog in spots. Otherwise, we'll sweep all of that away about midday through the afternoon, and sun appears again, high 73. We'll have patchy clouds overnight, low 58, and a partly sunny and nice day ahead tomorrow with a high of 78. Currently 60 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit BeingSeen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. BeingSeen360.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
So, Dan, I watched you walk into your car yesterday after work.
It's weird.
Well, I was behind you on the phone. Please,
okay.
yeah, I'm stalking you.
Yeah.
But somebody else was. So this beautiful woman. So you walked into the garage, and this beautiful woman was walking down the stairs, completely turned around, watched you because the garage door has glass, so you can see through it, and stood there and just watched you get into your car. And I'm standing behind her. I'm like, "Excuse me, ma'am. You can go talk to him. He's approachable." And I don't know.
Oh, I probably had like my fly open or my pants down or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Her name was Brenda.
Yeah, okay.
Brenda's 5'10".
Yeah. All right.
Brenda's a single looking to mingle. But it was so funny. Like, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt your stalking of my coworker, but I'm going to need to get out into the garage here, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please move?
Yeah. She was.
Well, she wasn't a ma'am. She was a miss.
She was looking for my parking spot.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, okay.
She It was so funny because you rarely see women being, kind of aggressive like that. And I thought, wow.
It reminds me of the story of Hillary and Bill in the Yale Law Library.
Just two young kids.
It's just head over heels for one another.
I saw her. I wanted to touch her back, but I knew.
You know what?
I shouldn't do that.
And they're just as in love today as the first day they met. What happened?
What?
By the way, I remembered my alternative
yes.
title for Hillary's book.
What was
What
it?
happened? It's how I got schlonged by Trump and wienered by Anthony. We'll take your alternative book titles. I mean, it's a clearance sale like Hillary's book, right, which will be shortly. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. Hillary Clinton doing a number of interviews attendant to the release of this, I'm sure, page-turning memoir. She's got a lot of people to blame. Thanks to Sarah Westwood over at the Washington Examiner, none of us have to read it. But she's just a couple of chapters in, and here's what she reports so far. The people that are responsible for Hillary losing. The audacious information warfare waged from the Kremlin, the unprecedented intervention in our election by the director of the FBI. These are quotes from the book. A political press that told voters that my emails were the most important story. Deep currents of anger and resentment flowing through our culture. The media gave Trump free wall-to-wall coverage. Fox News was turning politics to an evidence-free zone of seething resentments. Maybe it's because I'm a woman and we're not used to a woman running for president. The problem started with history. It was exceedingly difficult for either party to hold on to the White House for more than 8 years in a row. There was also a Clinton fatigue factor to consider. Those are the 9 excuses, the 9 instances of blame shifting Sarah Westwood identifies in just the first couple of chapters. So here's what we know. I think climate change is the reason she lost. Climate change is responsible for everything else. But we know the reason she lost had nothing to do with her. That's what we know for certain.
She also blamed Al Gore, John Kerry. I mean,
Don't forget Bernie.
And Bernie. Okay, Bernie ruined her in the primaries because she said he gave her such a bad reputation that during the general election, she just wasn't likable enough. But my favorite is the media. She blames the media, but she kept the media away. Well, she wouldn't let the media get in. If she showed a more human side and was nicer to them, but she had this hierarchy principle where they were the scum of the earth, and she would not associate with them.
Well, I'll tell you, here's how we would think of her had she won.
Did you underestimate the way that your familiarity with the American public could negatively impact your campaign?
Well, I thought it was pretty revolutionary that I was the first woman to have a realistic chance of becoming president. So I don't know how any woman who is not familiar to people, since we have so many hurdles to overcome, could have even been in that position that I found myself. So if I'd won, I would have been seen as a genius. My campaign would have been seen as perfect. I understand all of that.
Is that what she understands? What she understands, correct? Had she won, she would be seen as a genius and her campaign as perfect.
Far from the truth.
This is great.
Ask the reporters covering her. But I do have a friend who said America just wasn't ready for a female president.
No, America wasn't ready for this female president.
I think that's what I said to her. How did you know?
I must have. I have
telepathic.
Well, I mean, I think like a woman.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But you respond like a man.
Hillary Clinton, baby doll. Please don't ever leave us.
Sugar pop. We love you.
Please don't ever leave us, because if you leave us,
we ain't got nothing.
We don't have this kind of stuff where Hillary Clinton holds forth on how the D.C. press corps, which is 90% left-wing Dem, based on their voting for the Dem candidate for president since LBJ, that was the problem. They were in the tank for Trump, don't you know? The vast right-wing conspiracy revisited.
I don't think it used to be quite as hard. I think it could be made harder because of the environment in which we find ourselves right now. But you see, I also think I'm very realistic about the forces that are arrayed against the kind of change I want to see. There's a big move for change coming from the right that I think would be disastrous for our country. They want radical, pull them up by the roots change. They want to have a constitutional convention to rewrite our Constitution to make it friendlier to business, to inject, religious and ideological elements. So talk about radical change. They are pursuing it, they are funding it, and they are electing people who are either true believers or willing vehicles for it. So what do we do on the other side? Because we don't control the media environment the same way the right does. It's harder for our message to get out.
This is $1 billion and the Gang of 500 inside the Beltway in the tank for Hillary. And her explanation for the loss is the vast right-wing conspiracy that controls the media and is out resources the left. Are you
she
kidding?
Could have had it
Are you
all.
kidding?
If she would have ingratiated herself
This
to
is
the
great.
media, if she would have let them come on her plane, if she would have let them in. But even those who have voted Democratic, the members of the media, they didn't love her.
Well, if she was...
because she wasn't human.
If she was different, she wouldn't be the same.
She wasn't reachable.
Yeah, okay. Neil in LaGrange, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Two comments. Just kind of piggybacking on your comment, what you just said. Wasn't there that one event she had where nobody could get close to her? They put this big rope line up.
Yeah, right. Parade in Iowa.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, too, is in the 8 years that Obama was in office, wasn't like the figure like 1,100 or 1,200 combined state, House and Senate, U.S. House and U.S. Representatives and governors, flipping from Democrat to Republican?
Yes, he turned the Democrat Party into a super minority party. I mean, he was fine, but his party was decimated. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So love what they stand for.
Thanks for the call. Well, don't forget, this is the End of History, Rewrite History Party, so that's all Hillary Clinton is doing. Let's go to James in Westmont.
Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, the new title I think should have been, it's nobody's fault but everyone's, because apparently the vast right-wing conspiracy that brought her husband down in the 90s is doing it again. How can you believe that?
Yeah, thanks for the call, James.
Well, and quickly, speaking of Bill and what happened, she opened up about her marriage. She just said, I heard it again on the 2016 campaign. It's just a marriage on paper now, because she was contemplating whether or not to get a divorce. And she said, there's times that I was deeply unsure about whether our marriage could or should survive. But on those days, I asked myself the question that mattered to me. Do I still love him? Can I still be in this marriage without becoming unrecognizable to myself? And the answers were always yes. I mean, that is true love. There's many more happy days than sad or angry ones, Dan. And the Bill and Hillary Clinton love story.
Take Bill. I'll be watching you. I mean, it's such a great love story. No matter what happens in their lives, they have that love that binds them. You know what I mean? Isn't that what everybody wants? The Hillary and Bill relationship?
She just wondered if she could still be in this marriage without becoming unrecognizable to herself, with twisted anger and resentments, remoteness.
I thought this was a real honest account until she said, Bill, you complete me. And I'm not sure that it actually went down like she said. By the way, I had another working title.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
Mommy, what happened? What happened? That's what kids always say at the park. What happened?
No,
Okay,
keep this,
sorry.
Mike. So
Yes.
keep this in the context of all the blame shifting she's doing. Everybody's responsible except her, right? What happened? It takes a village.
Oh.
You see what I did there? Pete in Montgomery, beat that.
There is only one possible title for this book. At this point, what difference does it make?
Yes, that's why. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Pete. That's a good one.
Nice job.
I see what you did there. Mark in Plainfield.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. First, I'd like to request "The Bee Is Back" by Elton John. But more to my point, I just heard your clip from Hillary. She thinks pro-business and pro-religious freedom is radical right-wing concepts. Wasn't that pretty much the basis of the Constitution?
Yeah, sort of. And I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't. I'm not part of any rallying around the idea of a constitutional convention. I just want the four corners of the Constitution respected, interpreted strictly, and enforced. So I don't know. This is, Hillary with the vast right-wing conspiracy she's projecting again. And it's the same thing with kind of rewriting the laws under which this representative republic was intended to be governed. So your point is well taken, Mark. Thank you. Tim in Northfield.
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
Hey, good.
I Lied should be the title of her book. Should be I Lied, and not enough people believed me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to rhyme. All right. Thanks for the call, Tim. Appreciate it. I lied and not enough people believed me. Yeah. We'll workshop some of that. What do you got?
I got what?
Well, that is the title. So, and it's a book. I mean, I guess you could do the audio book. And so then
her audio book, she sounds like this. La, 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 la.
She's very lifelike. Owen in Willowbrook.
Hello, Dan and Amy. I think the name of the book should be called "It Takes a Village to Be Blamed."
It takes a village to be blamed.
Or I blame the village.
Thanks for the call. The village people did me in, especially that the Indian chief. The village people, and then you could have a picture of the village people. Could be a double entendre. Well, that would be fun. I might actually pick it up if she did that.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you, for free, the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. And it's about to get worse. The IRS just hired an army of new tax enforcers. So, if you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop that army of new enforcers from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $500 million of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers and Maternity Homes, is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on the path to financial security and independence, which is why I'm a proud member of their advisory board. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org, or join me at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, friend of the show, award-winning journalist and author. That's this Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club. Again, the website, helpaidforwomen.org for reservations or for more information on Aid for Women's life-saving work.
Game time is now. From kids sports to pro ball. When family and friends gather to watch their favorite sports, you need Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli and Grill on your team. Augie's is ready to cater your tailgate and game day parties with signature subs, loaded with the highest quality meats, cheeses, and fresh veggies. Plus, mouth-watering classics like Italian beef made from their own family recipe. Stop in or have your team take out bubbling hot pizza, hand-rolled meatball sandwiches, burgers, and fresh hot seasonal paninis. Can't choose? Get them all. Augustino's knows what your busy family needs this fall. You need good food that's fast, fresh, and affordable. They've got children's meals and even gluten-free options, which is why Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli and Grill is DuPage County's family favorite destination since 1978. Get your game day party started with Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli and Grill, Carroll Stream or West Chicago. Check out their menu along with catering menus at augustinos.com. And remember, at Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli and Grill, game day is the day they train for.
Gentlemen, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know my numbers. Low T made it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, I was able to get my results in minutes. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. So, gentlemen, if you don't know your numbers, haven't met your deductible, or don't have insurance, you should take advantage of this limited time offer. I know at Low T Center they will take great care of you. Plus, it's quick, easy, and you'll get your results in about 20 minutes. Do yourself a favor and call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. Again, the number, 312-239-3427. 312-239-3427. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. Call now or visit them online at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. They're not going to help you unless they're put on notice. They're going to be held accountable if they do not support the President of the United States. Those are the words of Chief Trump street fighter Steve Bannon on 60 Minutes in response to Charlie Rose's protestation that he's attacking the very GOP leadership who support the President needs. Whether or not you agree with all of the component parts of the Trump-Bannon policy agenda, and I do not, Bannon is correct about the mechanics of moving the flag in politics. As Milton Friedman observed, politics is the art of getting the wrong people to do the right thing. That requires the application of pressure. A policy agenda is moved mainly by aligning interests, not making friends. And the number one interest of virtually every office holder is to hold their office. What the big government press corps in D.C. describes as infighting is better understood as an accountability mechanism. You either keep the promises you made or you won't be in a position to make them anymore. Members of Congress are not our betters. They are our temporary representatives. All are replaceable. Many are interchangeable. A political party that has intra-party channels to maintain discipline is a governing party. One that does not will be a minority party until they do. Take it from someone who lives in Illinois.
AM 560, The Answer.
Text from 847, alternative Hillary book title, better Hillary book title.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Wisconsin? Not bad. It's not bad. Take a couple more. One. How about Ray in Milwaukee? You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, Dan and Amy. I love your show.
Thanks
for taking my call. I think, the title, right now the book price was reduced by 40% even before it hits the shelves by Tuesday.
Yes.
So that next title could be What Happened to What Happened. And
that's pretty good. All right. Thanks for the call, Ray. What happened to what happened in response to the book sales for What Happened? Not bad.
That's really good.
Daryl in Maryville, Indiana.
Hi. How about what you cannot buy for $1 billion?
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the call, Daryl. All right. You got anything better?
What happened?
Yeah, you're just going to continue saying that. What happened to what happened is a good sequel title. But
yeah,
I
book
think,
sales are, it came out yesterday, so.
I think
it comes out today, excuse me.
I think I'm still the leader in the clubhouse going back several weeks when this was first announced to, with how I got schlonged by Trump and wienered by Anthony. That covers a lot of ground. It's not too...
Because he did play a part in it, you're right.
It's not too cumbersome, you know.
The schlong and the photos and the emails.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of, there's a lot of layers to that title. I'm pretty proud of that work.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to David French from NRO. He defends the foreign policy establishment that Steve Bannon called idiots at 8:08.
Oh, and looky here. What's going to happen at 5 o'clock today? The mayor of Seattle resigns after a 5th sex abuse.
4 is one thing.
5
I got to go.
Another. A 5th man coming forward, and it happens to be his cousin. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're watching. A motion to repeal the soda tax to be introduced later today. Police are investigating 2 deaths in Cicero. Lake County raises the age to buy cigarettes. Cubs clobber the Mets, while a Moss Grand Slam leads the Royals past the White Sox. Morning showers and fog, parting giving way to afternoon sun. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
It's another day to clean up and salvage after Irma. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's not as bad as we thought here, but the island looks horrible.
He just returned home in hard-hit Marco Island.
I believe we lost a boat because I can't find it. It's not in the slip.
It's even worse in the Keys, where nearly every home was damaged or destroyed. Some still aren't allowed back. A lot of Floridians still don't have electricity. Fox's Evan Brown live in Orlando.
Yeah, Dave, the lights are still out for nearly 40% of the state. That's nearly 4 million homes and businesses. And all that rain runoff is causing creeks and rivers to swell and flood out neighborhoods that just the other day were dry, like in nearby Kissimmee.
Yesterday morning, I think it wasn't this level. And then now look at it, it's all the way halfway to my backyard.
3 people in Orlando and a 4th person in Daytona Beach were found dead in their homes this morning. Police suspect carbon monoxide poisoning from generators being run indoors. Dave.
Evan, President Trump will visit Florida tomorrow. The president also just tweeted after Harvey and Irma, tax cuts and tax reform are needed now more than ever. Go, Congress, go. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Among the dinner guests last night, Democrats Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Joe Donnelly of Indiana, and Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, each facing tough re-election races next year. Republican South Dakota Senator John Thune also attended the dinner and said he approves of the president's strategy.
We're trying to find the Democrats who are actually interested in tax reform that generates economic growth.
The president is continuing to reach across the aisle, hosting a bipartisan meeting of moderate House members here at the White House later today. Dave?
John, Congress has sent President Trump a resolution to sign condemning the KKK and neo-Nazis and the deadly violence at the white nationalist rally in Virginia. It does not have any language about the left-wing counter-protesters the president also blamed for having a role in the Charlottesville chaos. And ESPN anchor Jemele Hill is facing a social media backlash for tweeting President Trump's a white supremacist and a bigot. Fox News, fair and balanced.
64 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy. Winds northeast at 5. 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Hundreds of union nurses at the University of Illinois Hospital will not be hitting picket lines this morning. They've reached a tentative contract agreement with the hospital. Cook County commissioners are expected to introduce a motion later today to repeal the controversial sweetened beverage tax. The age to buy cigarettes going up next year in unincorporated parts of Lake County, Illinois. County Board approving an ordinance yesterday that raises the minimum age to buy tobacco products to 21. The Inspector General for the Chicago Public Schools says a high school inside the Cook County Jail has been faking student data for years. AM 560's David Stewart reports.
The CPSIG Nicholas Schuler says the York Alternative High School in the county jail was run as a credit mill, giving credit to students who didn't show up for class and carrying students on its records even after they'd been released from jail. In one case, Schuler found a student who'd gotten out of jail and was shot and killed a week later, yet was still being listed as attending class. Schuler blamed Principal Sharnette Sims for faking the numbers to boost the school's attendance and graduation ratings within the system. Sims hasn't responded, and CPS officials say they are reviewing Schuler's findings. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Drivers apparently listened this year to the pleas of the Illinois State Police when they urged us to buckle up and slow down over the Labor Day holiday weekend. State Police announcing yesterday traffic deaths on the roads over the Labor Day weekend were way down. 5 were killed on Illinois roads, down from 19 last year. Cubs beat the Mets 8-3. Royals hang on to beat the White Sox 4-3. The news, a service of Accountemps. Do you need accounting and finance pros for a long-term or recurring project? If you prefer the same professional to handle your project start to finish, Accountemps Salary Professional Service is your solution. Learn more at accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Neiman Marcus is closing 10 of its discount last call stores, 1/3 of the locations. The department store chain says it wants to focus on its full-line luxury department stores, Neiman Marcus and Bergdorf Goodman. More than 200 employees will be offered severance packages. There are also reports that Neiman Marcus is taking new steps to go private. Apple's new iPhone X isn't being released until November 3rd. Though investors boosted its stock before the phone was revealed, based on its new high-tech features, now there's concern that Apple's earnings won't be as strong as forecast because the phone sales won't be included in this year's numbers. Shares of iPhone suppliers are losing ground. And Fitbit shares are rallying. The company's working on a device to help people manage diabetes with a new type of smartwatch. The Dow was up 61 yesterday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
MC, filmmaker, and the best-selling author of Hillary's America, Dinesh D'Souza, on Saturday, November 11th at Freedom Summit 2017 at the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca. He'll be appearing with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. Also appearing, radio talk show host Larry Elder, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, and Amy Jacobson. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
.806 and a check of your ride to work this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Skokie, there's a closure of Oakton between Kenneth and Lowell. This is due to a crash in that area. Traffic is very heavy on the expressways and tollways this morning. On the Edens, the inbound delays start around 2E. It's 32 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 34. The Kennedy, an hour and 27 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 50 minutes from Montrose, 49 in the Express, outbound an hour and 5 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and a half. Thorndale to downtown, an hour and 8 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 57 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and a half. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 56 minutes. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 45 minutes, I-80 to the Verge. Bishop Ford, 52. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, it's 35 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound Tri-State, heavy. Cicero to 47th. Then from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Adams Tollway, okay. Reagan Tollway, Little Farnsworth to Highland. Veterans Memorial. From Archer to 127th. From I-55, most of the way to St. Charles. The Army Trail Toll to 290. 8094 westbound, still I-65 to before Kennedy. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Brian May.
A morning shower, then a mix of clouds and sunshine today, high 73. A few clouds tonight, low 59. Nice tomorrow with some sun, high 79. Friday, sunshine and very warm, high Friday, 85. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
61 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fly By Night with your host, comedian, and entertainer extraordinaire, Ken Savera. Saturdays at midnight on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So we have discussed at length over the last couple of days Steve Bannon's interview on 60 Minutes on Sunday. The portion of it where he was actually interviewed, and it was just Charlie Rose talking to himself. And one of the focuses of Bannon's ire during that interview, in addition to the GOP establishment, was the establishmentarians in the national security space inside the Beltway, the last three presidential administrations. Here's what Bannon had to say.
This is once again where the narrative is dead wrong. And by the way, they had all the stuff in the Wall Street Journal, the sign advertisements from all the geniuses in the Bush administration that got us here. The geniuses in the Bush administration that led China in the WTO, and genius in the Bush administration told us, hey, they're going to be a liberal democracy, they're going to be free market capitalism, okay? The same geniuses that got us into Iraq. That's the geniuses of the Bush administration. I hold these people in contempt, total and complete contempt. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It gets all over me like nothing else. And you know why? They're idiots. And they've gotten us in this situation. And they question a good man like Donald Trump. I don't want to name names.
Well, you have to name names because you're painting with a broad brush, and that's unfair.
The Condi Rice, the George W. Bush, his entire national security apparatus, and the national security...
Skokov, Colin Powell,
yes,
Condi Rice,
absolutely,
Dick Cheney.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it. All of it. By the way, the Obama crowd, almost the same. Clinton crowd, almost the same. It's three administrations.
That's part of the swamp that needs to be drained, according to Bannon. I don't know if he really believes they're idiots. I tend to doubt it. I think he was in the moment. But
hyperbole.
But he's because those individuals are not idiots, whether you agree with them or not. However, I think there are legitimate points of contention with respect to the policy choices that were made in the furtherance of interventionism, in the furtherance of nation building. But there were also successes that were achieved, and some of this is very difficult to discuss definitively because you're arguing what would have happened had not we done something, and who has that third eye other than the kid on Game of Thrones. So for more on this and someone rallying to the defense of the so-called idiots, we're pleased to be joined by our friend from National Review, who has also served our country honorably in Operation Iraqi Freedom. He is David French. David, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So you have a piece on nationalreview.com. The idiots were right, Mr. Bannon. Push back on Bannon. What's your response to what you heard him say on 60 Minutes?
Yeah, so, on 9/11, almost 3,000 Americans were killed. Worst attack on U.S. soil since the British burned Washington, D.C. in the War of 1812. And, if you had talked to Americans on the day after 9/11, and you would have said, what's going to happen next is we're going to launch military operations that are going to be so successful in disrupting terrorist activities that for the remainder of the Bush administration, a grand total of 3 Americans are going to die on American soil due to jihadist terror attacks. You would have thought I was wildly optimistic. But that's what happened. I mean, when the United States launched aggressive military operations, putting boots on the ground overseas, denying terrorists safe havens, it disrupted terror operations. And we know this. I mean, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed has talked about how al-Qaeda was dumbfounded by our response. And, one of the things I think is interesting about the Middle East is how reality has a way of disrupting theory. So Bannon, has all this ire and anger towards these Bush administration officials. So, Obama actually tried to pursue the policy that Bannon liked. He tried to pursue the policy of disengagement. So he pulled us all the way out of Iraq, which is what Bannon wanted us to do in Afghanistan. He stood passively by during the Syrian civil war. And what ended up happening? The rise of ISIS, genocide, disruption of the entire European political system by the tide of refugees, a huge spike in terror plots and attacks around the globe. So, one of the things that we know about terrorism is when you allow terrorists to have safe havens, they have time and space to plot more attacks.
But let me just, if I could interrupt you for a second there. So I think there's a lot to what you're saying, but is part of the problem kind of the overpromising of political leaders and their national security attachés? If it was limited to not allowing for safe havens that incubate terrorism, that's one thing. It's another thing when we get into the spend to try and turn Afghanistan into something that it's not going to be, or Iraq into something it's not going to be, or we make pronouncements about Assad's end in Syria that don't come to pass. And you could understand why people get fatigued listening to this while watching the body count increase and the amount of money spent in those areas increase to the exclusion of perhaps what's happening in their neighborhood, which is the argument that Trump and Bannon are making about, for example, the urban centers versus North Africa and the Middle East. Now, that may be a bit of a false choice, but you can understand why Americans perk up and say, yeah, that there's some sense there.
Well, it's absolutely a false choice first because, the percentage of money we spend on national defense as a percentage of our GDP is very low. But the other thing is that the problem is that you have, and this is something that is very important for people to understand. Yeah, nation building, and this is something I said in my piece. There were mistakes that the Bush administration made. There's no question about it. But the problem that we have now is what we're talking about is a strategic situation, and one by the time the Obama administration came into office, where we were talking about really maintaining not very large military forces abroad. In the Trump administration plan that Bannon opposed was, again, these weren't nation-building plans. These were maintaining much smaller forces abroad to deny safe havens and to prevent the defeat and destruction of allied regimes. And so the nation-building era had already been over by the time Bannon came in. It was already over by the time Obama came in. So what we're talking about now is something very different from that. And that's one of the things I think that Bannon and company sort of elide over an awful lot is they're advocating this withdrawal where you would see the kinds of catastrophes we saw in 2014 when you saw, the forces of ISIS just chewing through the Middle East. You would see scenes like we saw in Saigon in 1975 when, the American helicopters were lifting off the roof to protect the last surviving friends we had there. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about preventing at this point. And so, one of the other things I think is very important for people to realize is there was a narrative that locked in about the failure, say, of the Iraq War around 2005, 2006, that never really was disrupted, in spite of the fact that by 2008, 2009, that war in Iraq was won. There was just a few hundred al-Qaeda fighters left knocking around that country. They had no ability to fundamentally disrupt the Iraqi government. I mean, we had fought a long war. We had made mistakes, but we had won. And so then what happened is Obama comes in and he pursues what we'll call the Bannon policy. And the Bannon policy is, retreat. The Bannon policy is hands off. And we saw the results. So the funny thing to me is we actually had a beta test of the Bannon policy right in front of our eyes not too long ago. And dare I say, it would be idiotic to repeat that because we see what happens.
Well, you just said the Bannon policy was to retreat, but President Trump is going to be sending more troops to Afghanistan. Yes. And do you agree with that?
Oh, I absolutely agree with that because Trump decided he did not want to be the man who lost the war in Afghanistan. And I think that's exactly the right call because what that would do is it would give, once again, good terrorism and then safe haven in Afghanistan. So Bannon opposed all of that. And it's one of the reasons why he's outside the administration right now, exactly where he belongs, doing exactly what he does best, which is act like one of his commenters on Breitbart.com. The man's not a strategic genius. This is not the Karl Rove of Donald Trump's election victory. He's a person with very, very strong opinions based on very limited facts and very limited support for those facts.
Well, regarding Afghanistan, though, I mean, should if we're talking about honesty going forward to inspire some confidence in the American electorate with respect to their leaders when lives are on the line and treasure is on the line. Are we talking about troops being in Afghanistan for the next half century like they are on the Korean Peninsula, like they are in Western Europe?
Well, we just don't know. I mean, one of the things about war is there's two sides to it. And we can't necessarily unilaterally decide a war ends. That's one of the things that the Obama administration tried was essentially to say, well, we're going to end the war, so to speak, by pulling out of it. Well, in those circumstances, then sometimes the war comes to you.
Yeah.
What we have to realize is this isn't like fighting Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. And this is the kind of situation where jihadism grows and at times when it's allowed safe havens, and it shrinks when it's not. And that requires a patience and a very long-term commitment, unfortunately. But the fact of the
go ahead.
The enemy's got a vote in this, and we can't just decide, okay, war's over.
I wanted wanted to get to another piece that you wrote in National Review because we discussed it earlier this week with the eminent economics professor Walter Williams over at George Mason, who should be one of the most influential black intellectuals in the United States, if not the most, along with Thomas Sowell. I mean, he is in certain circles, but he, of course, is not buoyed by the D.C. press corps like Ta-Nehisi Coates is of The Atlantic. And you took up the piece that he wrote calling Trump the first white president of America because his argument is Trump is nothing more than a negation of the first black president, Barack Obama.
Yeah, I mean, this is how shall I put it? I found Coates' piece, as Coates' pieces typically are, very, very well written, very evocative, but in many ways very wrong. And, you know, one of the interesting things is his fundamental theory is that Trump is sort of the white supremacist answer to Barack Obama, that he is the negation of the first African-American president. And the reality is we're looking at a world where politically Barack Obama is the most popular of the recent presidents and presidential candidates in the country. And that what Donald Trump was not a negation of Barack Obama, but a negation of Hillary Clinton. that the numbers demonstrate that the two least popular either presidents or presidential candidates in recent memory are Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, with Hillary Clinton being the least popular.
Well, and as in part of Coates' problem, the problem with Coates' argument is he can't separate Obama, the person who's personally popular, from Obama, the policymaker, and a lot of those policies are unpopular.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea, you know, he sort of racializes things like Obamacare. He racializes all of these policies. But, you know, I think he was alive during the Clinton administration when the GOP ferociously fought the Clinton-era policies. I don't think there's a credible argument that the GOP would have fought any less hard if Hillary Clinton had proposed something like Obamacare. Of course they would have. You know, Obama proposed progressive policies. The GOP is not a progressive party. They're going to fight that. That's not racial. Now, that's not to say that there aren't racists in the Trump coalition. There are racists who supported Trump. But the fundamental reality of the election was this was Trump versus Hillary Clinton. This wasn't Trump versus Obama. And Trump should be glad it wasn't Trump versus Obama, because I'm kind of the opinion that Obama would have pasted Trump. But this was Trump versus Clinton. The GOP rallied to stop Hillary Clinton. Yes, they wanted to undo Obama policies, but they always want to undo Democratic policies. So I was really puzzled by the assertion that this was all about, undoing and negating the first black president. No, this was much, much more about negating the political ambitions of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and I would suggest you could find a lot of, not a lot, but you could find racists that supported Hillary Clinton too, as racists have always supported the Democrat Party, right? I mean, just to close the loop on that. He is David French, writer at National Review, constitutional lawyer and author, also a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. David, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, Bannon in Berkeley. Oh, yeah. They're calling it Hurricane 6, scheduled to make landfall in Berkeley for the Freedom Speech Week. But first, here's your forecast. Morning shower in places. Otherwise, we're going to have some clouds by this afternoon with some sunshine peeking through, a high of 73. Tomorrow, it's going to be a nice day, sunny, a 78. And then things are going to heat up around here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Kennedy inbound. It's jammed. Harlem to the Burns Circle, an hour and 27 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 49 minutes from Montrose, 37 in the Express. Outbound at 56 minutes to O'Hare. Edens is 32 minutes from Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 34. The Eisenhower, an hour and a half. Thorndale to downtown, an hour and 8 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 57 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour 6 from the Tri-State. Outbound 48 minutes to 355. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 40 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 52. Tri-State, delays are northbound. Cicero to 47. That's from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Reagan Tollway slow Farnsworth to Highland. Veterans Memorial from Archer to 127. I-55 most of the way to St. Charles. The Army Trail toll to 290. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Still taking your alternative Hillary book titles.
Oh, yeah. What do you got there, boss?
Text from 815, Liar, Liar, Pantsuit on Fire.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's not bad. Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show. Long-form interviews and our Against the Current series podcast, our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. Our Heart of the Matter series featuring professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the issues of the day and their impact on household budgets. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, Dollars and Cents commentaries from Pat Hughes, the Illinois Opportunity Project, as well as our Follow the Logic Man on the Street segment this week featuring Illinoisans trying to follow Bruce Rauner's logic in signing sanctuary state legislation. You can get it all at upstream-ideas.com.
With Continental Audi of Naperville, you get a different kind of buying experience. Straight talk and no hassle. Plus, Continental Audi has a huge selection of Audis to choose from. And for a limited time, lease a 2017 Audi A4 Premium for $399 a month. The Audi A4 is one of the best in its class. Or lease a 2018 Audi A6 for $579 a month. Plus, Continental has a test track to get in and really drive. Drive an Audi and feel the difference. Drive an Audi from Continental and experience the difference in an exceptional dealer. ContinentalAudi.com or Continental Audi in Naperville on Aurora Avenue at Ogden Avenue. Going beyond the sale. Experience the Continental Audi difference, where smiles are standard equipment. ContinentalAudi.com. 36-month lease, A4 4114 due, A6 4694 due. At signing plus tax data license and acquisition fee extra must qualify through Audi Financial Services. See dealer for details.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
In business, risks and rewards come with every decision, like moving to the cloud with Office 365. While its benefits include anywhere access and lower costs, cyber threats and user errors can quickly wipe out data and the money you save. Barracuda Essentials for Office 365 provide an added layer of security and functionality for threat protection, email migration, data recovery, and quality of service. Move securely to Office 365. Visit barracuda.com/essentials to learn more.
As a small business owner, you're juggling it all, including customers' calls from your personal phone. But with Grasshopper, you get a business phone number and a business phone system from our mobile app, so you can work smarter, not harder. Grasshopper forwards calls, texts, even transcribes voicemails. Everything you need to simplify your business and stay responsive. With Grasshopper, there's no long-term contracts, and customer support is 24/7. Whether you're starting or growing your business, Grasshopper is the answer. Now get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. remission, or cure.
Depression, gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I can't believe you just said Hillary Clinton's an old lady, like you.
Well, I mean,
that's rude.
I'm being respectful of my elders.
Oh my God! I need a safe space.
Yes.
Coming up. Thank you. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll ask Steve Moore if he was the Sidney Poitier character at that tax dinner at the White House with the president yesterday at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
There's been some showers this morning and some heavy, dense fog across the area as well. 64 degrees. French President Emmanuel Macron visiting hurricane-hammered St. Bart's after reportedly staying overnight on the nearby island of St. Martin. Macron is on a visit aimed at offering support and solidarity. He's been criticized for not doing enough to prepare and help France's Caribbean territories devastated by Hurricane Irma. Irma's floodwaters are covering parts of Florida that rarely see flooding. Governor Rick Scott saying that those in Jacksonville have been shocked by the extent of the flooding. This morning, 3 are dead from apparent carbon monoxide poisoning at a Orlando, Florida home following Irma. 4 others have been hospitalized. Progressive Senator Bernie Sanders ready to unveil his bill for starkly reshaping the country's current hodgepodge health insurance system into one where the government provides medical insurance for everyone. Republican senators preparing to roll out details of a renewed effort to repeal and replace President Barack Obama's attempts at health insurance reform that were not market-based. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott will talk with President Trump today about race and the recent violence at a white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Scott, the only black Republican in the U.S. Senate. Cook County commissioners are expected to introduce a motion today to repeal that controversial sweetened beverage tax. Authorities investigating the deaths of a man and woman in Cicero. Bodies were found yesterday in the 5100 block of West 25th. Police believe the cause of their deaths may have involved the victims themselves. And a white actor and writer is suing Chicago's Second City Theater over allegations of discrimination and retaliation. In a lawsuit filed this week, Scott Moorhead claims he was called racial slurs by black cast members during the Second City production of A Red Line Runs Through It last year. Moorhead says he filed several complaints. The theater did not resolve that situation. He claims he was later suspended from the show without explanation and then replaced by another actor. Cubs beat the Mets 8-3. Royals hang on to beat the White Sox 4-3. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, when you purchase a set of Napa brakes and rotors, you get up to a $50 discount code toward your favorite fan gear from Fanatics.com. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. 8:33, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher gets a bad feeling about the North Korea situation.
My instincts generally serve me pretty well. I'm going to just tell you flat out, I have a very bad feeling about what Kim Jong-un is up to. And it's on him. But I have a bad feeling about this little chubby, weird dictator of North Korea.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? I call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic right everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Chirakuri, board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. If you or a loved one suffer from hearing loss but can't afford thousands for a hearing aid, I created MD Hearing Aid for you. a high-quality medical-grade hearing aid for a fraction of that price.
Try MD Hearing Aid at home risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868.
No costly doctor's visit. No expensive and time-consuming fittings or appointments. No ugly, old-fashioned hearing aid that costs thousands. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered, audiologist-tested hearing aid that's discreet and lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 80% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing Aid risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868. Plus, you'll get free shipping and free batteries for a year. 1-800-300-0868.
8:35. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Eden's inbound runs 31 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 29, the Kennedy. An hour and 27 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 49 minutes from Montrose, 37 on the Express. Outbound 56 to O'Hare. The Ike, an hour and a half. Thorndale to downtown, an hour and 8 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 57 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 48 minutes. The Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, bottled up Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Northbound from Soldier Field to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State, delays are heavy from 115th to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Adams Tollway still okay. Reagan Tollway. So Farnsworth to 59 and 355 to 294. Northbound Veterans Memorial has delays. Archer to 127. I-55 most of the way to St. Charles. The Army Trail toll to 290. Westbound 8094, there's a jam. I-65 to before Kennedy. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A morning shower and fog beginning to part. We'll have clouds through the midday and some sun late in the day. High 73, patchy clouds, and a low of 58 overnight. Currently 63. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit beingseen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. beingseen360.com.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. There are reports that Trump's not going to trade the wall for DACA. You may not understand that, but I'll explain it when Freedom returns at 5.
So we got a few Harper Leaf fans out there. We're asking for alternative and better book titles for Hillary Clinton's book. Ann B. Davis's Bowling Ball, To Mock a Killing Bird, A Basket Full of Deplorables. All right. And then
That's
alternatively, we have from 312, To Shrill a Cackling Bird. That's not bad. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to talk tax policy, Amy. We need tax reform in this country. You need tax reform. You need to keep more of what you earn.
That's what I'd like to do, Dan. That's the point.
To help you do that, we're pleased to be joined by the Sultan of Supply-Side Economics. He is Wall Street Journal columnist, CNN senior economist, former Trump advisor, Heritage Foundation economist. More titles than you can shake a stick at. He's Steve Moore. Steve, thanks for joining us. Where are we on tax reform?
Great question. Where are we? By the way, thank you for introducing me as the tax man. Let's see. I think that there's about a 50-50 chance the Republicans are going to get their act together and get this done. The reason I was a little late for the show this morning, I met with a bunch of the House Republicans this morning to get a kind of feel of their temperature on this and give them some advice. And my advice was go, go, go. What's taking so long?
And how was that? What's
enough about them? What about you? I mean, what did they say?
What did they say to you? Yeah.
Well, I think that, look, the House I don't think is going to be, they're going to get something through the House. It'll be a good tax cut. I think it comes down to exactly what happened in the Senate on Obamacare. How do you get the 50 votes? Now, yesterday, you guys heard that Donald Trump had dinner with 3 Democratic senators, Joe Manchin, Donnelly of Indiana, and Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota.
And you were disguised as the waiter, right? So you could overhear what was being said.
Were you there? Were you behind the phone?
No, I was not there. But I think all 3 of those are potentially gettable. But I don't think they're going to get us over the hump. That's the problem. I don't think they're going to. Any of those 3 will get us the 50th vote we need. In other words, once we get the 50, they might, provide, the votes to get to 53. But, the heavy lift of getting to 50 is tough. And by the way, John McCain is sick. He's in the hospital. We don't know what kind of, when he'll be back. So that leaves us with effectively 51 senators for now. And so it's tough. But look, the Republicans, as Bob Novak, the great columnist from the Chicago Sun-Times for decades, one of the greatest political reporters of ever, used to say, I told the Republicans this morning at their policy morning breakfast, I said, the only reason God put Republicans on this earth is to cut taxes. If they can't get this done, I do think they're going to lose the House and the Senate in 2018. I think it's going to be a bloodbath because conservatives are going to say, what good are these people? They can't get Obamacare repealed. They can't get the wall built. They can't get the tax cut done. These are all central promises that Republicans made. So I do think for policy and political reasons, it's really imperative that they get this done, get that corporate rate down, get the repatriation, get something for families. And by the way, the polling is pretty good on this. The polling, I saw a poll the other day, 56% of Americans agree with Trump that a tax cut would be good for the economy. If they can sell that message, they're going to win.
I heard something great this morning that the median household income is up 3.2%.
Yep. That was good news, really good news. But, the problem is, if you look over the last 15 years,
catching up,
the gain in median family income is barely positive. It's slightly above water. So you still have a problem that, since 2000, there's been very little income gains for the majority of families. And that is the problem, is that wages and salaries have not been rising. You're right. That was good news that we saw a real increase last year. But that comes after 6 years of declining family income. So there's still a lot of ground to be made up.
Well, and so doesn't that speak to the need to sell equally? There's a lot of emphasis on our confiscatory corporate tax rate, and that's obviously a legitimate issue, and it needs to be lowered at least to something approaching the international average. But doesn't the sales pitch need to include as much emphasis on reducing the marginal rates for middle-income families, so you have the kind of the Main Street on board, frankly?
Yeah, but I would add to that, look, the plan that I think is going to pass will have a doubling of the standard deduction. So the average middle-class family will get about a $2,000 tax cut under the Trump plan. But what's more important, Dan, is not just cutting the corporate tax, because, as you said, it's just an insane system. Nobody can defend the United States having the highest tax rate in the world. I was in Ireland last year, and every company I saw in Dublin, every other company was an American company that had moved to Ireland because they're at 12.5%, and we're at 35%. So you save, two-thirds on your taxes by moving to Dublin. That doesn't work. But you also have to cut the taxes for small businessmen and women. There's 27 million small businesses in this country, and two-thirds of Americans are employed by those companies, not by the big corporations like GE and Apple. So, and I think maybe I'm wrong about this, Dan and Amy, but I think the American people can connect the dots. When you have healthy companies, you have healthy jobs. As my old boss Dick Armey used to say, liberals love jobs, but they hate employers, and you can't have one without the other.
But this comes back to the sales pitch and not being mau-maued by the left and their class envy politics, being proactively aggressive and unified in selling the deal to the American people on both chambers, right?
Wait, did you say Republicans and unified?
Well, yes, right, more or less.
That's a tough thing. I mean, you've learned that in Illinois. It's tough here in Washington, D.C. to get the Republicans unified. I would say that they're much more unified on this than they were on health care. They could hardly have been less unified than they were on health care. So I think that when I talk to the Republican senators and House members, they almost all get it that they've got to get this done. Now, the problem is, even if 90% agree with that, that's not good enough in the Senate. You got to get 99%, right? You got to get virtually every senator, with the exception of one, because the Democrats, Chuck Schumer sent out that letter saying we are not going to cooperate on tax cuts. We're against it. It's against our religion to cut people's taxes. So, and that's different, by the way. We've got a great little ad we're putting out with footage from John F. Kennedy, some of this grainy old film that shows Kennedy saying, that when you cut taxes, you get more revenues, you get more jobs, you get more growth, and it's a wonderful passage from Kennedy. How many Democrats, Dan, believe that today? When you cut taxes, you get more growth and more jobs.
How many Democrats believe that a Catholic could be president, per Di-Fi and Durbin, for that matter?
Good point.
Yes.
Touche. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that ever happen? God, these ideological these ideologues were Catholics. I mean, my God, the next thing you know, the Pope is going to be running the White House.
Yeah, the next thing you know, the Pope is going to be Catholic, and then we're really in trouble.
Well, actually, with this Pope, they probably would want him to be the president because he's a leftist. But my hero, by the way, of all time is John Paul II, who I think was one of the great figures of the 20th century, and was the one who brought down the Berlin Wall. So not bad for a Catholic.
No question about it. He is Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, CNN economist, Heritage Foundation economist. Thanks for the update on tax reform, Steve. Always appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Have a great week.
You too.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, this ESPN sports reporter still has her job. I cannot imagine why. But first, here's your forecast. We're going to have some morning clouds, some morning showers in places, otherwise clouds and some sun by this afternoon. High of 73 degrees, Dan, in case you're going golfing. But you're going to want to set your tee times for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because it's going to be downright balmy around here. Plenty of sunshine, very warm all 3 days, highs in the mid to upper 80s. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is the one and only Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Inbound Kennedy. The delays are from Austin to the Burns Circle, an hour and 14 minutes O'Hare to downtown. It's 44 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express, outbound 56 to the airport. The Edens, 31 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 29. The Eisenhowers, an hour and 31 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, an hour 8 from Manheim, outbound 56 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 46 minutes. Ryan is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, slow Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, 35 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound slow Soldier Field to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State, there's a jam now. 190 to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 115th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Veterans Memorial, slow. Northbound Archer to 127th, and I-55 all the way to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179 or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
With 20% back in rewards on color copies from Staples, you can run your business with confidence. The confidence to leave behind presentations that customers will read, not recycle. The confidence to produce color manuals that'll keep your business in the black. The confidence that your financial forecast will no longer be partly cloudy. Show off your business in full color for less at Staples. Now get 20% back in rewards on color presentations, manuals, and copies. Staples. It's pro time. Visit staples.com/20color. Expires 11/4/17. Exclusions apply.
Fall is the best time to feed your lawn. With 10% off Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard Fall Weed and Feed and Fall Lawn Food at the Home Depot. Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard feeds your lawn to build strong, deep grass roots for winter when you need it most. So it'll be lush, green, and beautiful next spring when you want it most. Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard Fall Weed and Feed and Fall Lawn Food. 10% off now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through October 4th.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, like, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm lugging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, like, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think, too. Until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
All that extra weight is messing with your health, your sleep, your social life, even your love life. Time to take control. I'm Dr. Frank Marticello, and that's exactly what I did. I always worked out, worked hard, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I then saw a picture of myself, and that's what did it. I had to search for a solution. I found the ideal method. I lost 80 pounds, opened Total Life Weight Loss, and that was 9 years ago, and I've kept it off. Listen to this.
I hated being on meds needed only because I was overweight. I was tired of being tired and wearing black all the time. So I turned to Total Life Weight Loss. It was truly a life changer. Total Life Weight Loss gave me support and strategies to get rid of the weight and maintain my new current weight. I love the way I look and feel.
This is a medically developed protocol that helps you lose weight fast, get healthy, and keep it off for life. Call Total Life Weight Loss now at 708-695-5999 to book your free metabolic assessment or attend one of our free educational workshops. Again, that's 708-695-5999.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Jameel Hill, you may not know who she is if you don't watch ESPN during the day, and why would you?
I sometimes click it on.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I guess to get the scores or whatever, but
yeah.
She unleashed a tweet storm against President Trump after criticizing Kid Rock and getting replies to that. Donald Trump is a white supremacist who has largely surrounded himself with other white supremacists. the height of white privilege is being able to ignore his white supremacy, his being Trump's, because it's of no threat to you. Well, it's a threat to me. And lest you think that Jemele Hill is alone in her concern about Trump, the white supremacists, and all the white supremacists around him.
Yeah, she went on to say, Donald Trump is a bigot. Glad you could live with voting for him. I couldn't because I cared about more than just myself.
No, she's a giver. And she has been backed by Colin Kaepernick.
See, that's
the Castro lover. We are with you, Jemele Hill. So you got that. So that's a nice that a girl from Colin Kaepernick. It's funny. ESPN has apologized on behalf of Jemele Hill, but there's been no statement forthcoming from Jemele Hill. Also, no disciplinary action. And since she invoked white privilege, it is worth noting that ESPN has a standard for intemperate remarks, what they consider intemperate remarks from hosts outside of their professional duties. Britt McHenry was suspended and ultimately fired. Kurt Schilling was suspended and ultimately fired. And Doug Adler, the tennis commentator, was fired.
If she's truly sorry or realizes that her actions were inappropriate, why won't they let her speak for herself on her behalf on Twitter? I mean, it started on Twitter. I think it should end on Twitter.
Well, the communication channel is not particularly material as far as I'm concerned. It's the question of the ESPN execs intervening to speak for Jemele Hill, and there's no indication of any disciplinary action. So it turns out like the white privilege she complains about didn't save those other former colleagues of hers who were all white, even when it was completely wrong. For example, Doug Adler was the tennis commentator who referred to Venus Williams' game as like playing a guerrilla game of tennis.
Right.
G-U-E-R, guerrilla, not G-O-R-I, right? So it was like an insurgent tactical game of tennis. It was a compliment. And
the New York Post or New York Times picked up on it right away, tweeted it out, and within 48 hours he was done.
So just understand this. So because of the limited language skills of some who couldn't interpret that in the way it was intended, the English language is a complicated thing.
Words are hard sometimes.
There's this thing, homophones. Welcome to the English language. So because ESPN fired him because of people who have limited language skills. That's their response. Now, the same people they responded to when they apologized for a live fantasy football auction on CNN, a draft. That's what we call a draft. That's what I did in my league, you did in your league.
Right.
Because some people say white people buying black athletes is like a slave auction. So they apologize for that. And they protect Robert Lee from the Twitterverse, and they probably need to protect him from Jemele Hill, the Asian American sportscaster at ESPN, because he has the same name as a dead Confederate general. And, of course, we wouldn't want people to be confused by the two. This is ESPN, and it's why they're hemorrhaging viewers, and I hope they continue to hemorrhage viewers.
Well, it's strange because I'm looking at Jemele Hill's Twitter account right now, and all the tweets she made about President Trump have been taken down, but the one about Kid Rock has not been taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Because he loves black people so much that he pandered to racists by using a flag, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, there was not a lot of profile given to black families in Houston that were all taking selfies with President Trump when he was down in Corpus Christi, right? Because we have to. It's so important for the ignorant to just regurgitate a narrative. It's what Stevie Wonder and Beyonce did at the telethon yesterday. It's just the narrative. There's no introspection. There's no interest in any countervailing evidence to consider. That's just the narrative. And so Jemele Hill is just another,
but she shouldn't
she's
have
just
her
another
job.
Empty-headed celebrity.
If a white reporter had tweeted out about President Obama, what she had tweeted out similarly, they would have been fired on the spot. They'd have a police escort out of the building. Well, trust me. This is such a double standard.
That could very well be, but the interesting thing is we know the ESPN standard because there's precedent. And the question is, does it turn out that Jemele Hill will have privilege that her former white colleagues did not? That's what we're going to watch to find out.
Thanks so much to Justin Kosick, our technical director, Keith Conrad, our executive producer, and thanks as always for making us part of your morning. We're back here tomorrow, 5 a.m. Now let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're following at this hour. A nurses' strike canceled after a tentative agreement is reached. A motion to repeal the soda tax to be introduced today in Cook County. Lake County raises the age to buy smokes to 21 in spots. Former cast members suing Second City over racial discrimination. Cubs beat the Mets. Grand Slam early led the Royals over the White Sox. The morning shower and fog beginning to part. WIND